half full slate, I guess. You got half tonight, half tomorrow night. Tennessee, Florida. That's kind of the marquee matchup of the night. They're playing in Gainesville. 6 o'clock start on ESPN2, and Florida's actually favored in this game. Number 1 Tennessee going on the road playing number 8 Florida, and Florida's favored in that game.
Oh, it makes sense, though. Road games are tougher, and Florida is a good team. We saw that they put on a good performance, came up a little bit short on the road themselves.
Also tonight, Kentucky at Georgia. Kentucky is small favorite on the road against Georgia. Auburn at Texas. Auburn's a 10.5-point favorite on the road against the Longhorns. That seemed like a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of points.
Mississippi State at Vanderbilt. Mississippi State, another road team favored. They're favored by 2.5. Vanderbilt beat LSU to start conference play on the road. And speaking of LSU, they're on the road against Missouri. Missouri, a 7.5-point favorite. So 2 home favorites, 3 road favorites. It got me thinking. Remember last year, Joe, you and I were together towards the end of the SEC season, and I kept a running total of how home teams fared midweek versus on Saturdays, because it was very strange to me. So I pulled those numbers up today, and just to go back and look, and I did the final tally. Look, I could be off a game or two. I could have screwed something up during the entire season, but roughly I have on midweek games in the SEC, the home team was 36-11. That's 25 games over 500. On the weekends, the home team was 37-33. Almost 500. It seems odd to me that it would be such a big difference. You would think maybe, at the start of the year and everything just seems to work its way out throughout the season, but it was a trend throughout the year. Midweek games, home teams were much more successful than on the weekends. And then lo and behold, you look at this weekend, the first Saturday of SEC play, what happened? SEC home teams dominated. They went 7-1.
It seems like teams would have been – that would have been the reverse, that teams would have been more successful on the weekend in those Saturday games, because now you have fans that are filling in the building on those nights, those days, more so than during the week, because sometimes that's a struggle for fans to get there.
Yeah, it was very odd to me because just like you said, you got bigger crowds on the weekends. And also, and I've heard this too before, but somebody, God, who was it? It was a coach. I can't remember what coach, but it was talking about the officiating is a lot better usually on the weekends. Or no, maybe it was the officiating's better on the midweek because they just use a couple of the same officials because they could work a Tuesday game and a Thursday game or a Monday game and a Wednesday game, so it's your top officials working throughout the week. And then on the weekends, it's everybody. And so sometimes you get the bottom of the barrel, not the best officials. And so maybe that was attributing to some of the, but you would think, worse officials, home team gets more of an advantage.
Exactly. And that's why it seems like it would be more of a trend for a weekend.
Very odd. But anyway, just a couple of trends that I noticed on Saturday. Home teams dominated, going 7-1. But, of course, also the home teams were the better teams in this case. It was just maybe one of those Saturdays where it was obvious the home teams were the ranked teams, the better matchup. And not only did they win, they covered. The favored team went 7-1. If you'd have bet the favorites Saturday in the SEC, you'd have gone 7-1. And the only favorite that didn't cover was Auburn. And they had an 18.5-point spread over Missouri, and they were winning by like 24 at the end of the game. Missouri made 7 or 8 straight points, and, he got backdoored, a backdoor cover.
That's always a tough cover, though, when you're giving up so many points like that.
Yeah.
In basketball, because basketball teams are going to make runs.
Yeah, and it's tough, and especially on a big line like that, and you pulled your starters, you got the reserves in, and everybody relaxes. Next thing you know, the other team scraps and scores, and you get backdoored. But 2 trends that I did see, and we'll have to keep an eye and see what happens with the midweek games this week, because the midweek games, like I just mentioned, you got some of the better teams on the road. Can they go out and win on the road? And as we just mentioned, a couple of road teams are favored tonight. So start with Kentucky favored over Georgia, Auburn favored over Texas, Mississippi State favored over Vanderbilt. The home teams that are favored, Florida against Tennessee and Missouri against LSU. So a couple trends just to kind of keep an eye on at the beginning of the SEC season, and maybe we can pick up on a trend here in a week or so and take advantage of that trend.
And it is a good comparison to look back at last season and see how it does compare, because those things are not something you would expect to carry over one season to the next or be the same every season. It's going to be more coincidental season to season.
So we got some SEC basketball we can watch tonight, and I'll watch a little bit of it. I am curious, Joe, because you're a sports fan. You're a much more rounded sports guy than I am. I mean, you watch soccer, hockey, women's basketball. I'm kind of your nuts and bolts, football, baseball, basketball. That's me. How interested are you in tonight's debut of the TGL? The Tiger Woods that venture, the indoor golf.
Okay, this is what I'll say about that is they have been advertising that quite a bit, so it does gauge the interest simply because it's out there. You know about it, and so it's definitely something to check out. And then it's on ESPN, and they're really pushing it as opposed to like we talked about the match. The match is something that we have been interested in and wanting to check out and see the personalities that were involved in it and the way that they change it up year to year, but they don't advertise it. They don't market it. You don't know what's happening. And so that becomes the difference. So I am interested in it simply because I know about it.
They've hyped it up. They've done a good job, whether it's on ESPN, one of their programs, the promotions, the commercials, social media. They've been doing a lot of stuff to put the word out. That was the last time the little foursome that played golf in Las Vegas.
The
match was great. Matchup. I didn't even know about it until the day of. And I just happened to see some random tweet about it. But by then, I already kind of made plans. I was doing something else. I didn't watch it. And I love golf. And I like watching golf. I'll watch golf on the weekends. I know a lot of people don't find it boring. And, they turn it on to take a Sunday nap. I get it. I'm not that way, but I think this is a little different. Maybe they got a little niche here, and the oddity of it. Indoor golf, taking full shots, drives, hitting it. We've all done that in the simulators. They're going to be doing that. But then their second shot, the approach shot, will be from actual grass. I saw them installing some grass today. I mean, they bring it in these big squares. You'll stand there and take a shot on the simulator from actual grass. That when you're hitting from a simulator, you can hit a fat shot and you bounce into the club and it still goes a good long way. Well, you hit a fat shot on grass, it's not going to go anywhere. You duff it. It's a bad shot. You get away with it on the artificial turf or the mats out there, but so they'll have actual grass that they're hitting off of. And then once you get around the green, you're actually chipping. And they have these huge greens that they built inside these arenas that can move around and adjust per hole. I mean, they've got it on this system that moves and has hills and different things. So it looks it's unique. And I like the fact too, we've all played, done, these simulators, and it's like you're playing Augusta or Pebble Beach or the old course at St. Andrews. These are different holes that they've made just for this. And there's some crazy holes, like unique holes, like almost like playing putt-putt golf that creates some challenges, some different type challenges that we've never seen on a regular golf course. So I think there's enough oddity to it that maybe will attract people to check it out. And if they deliver, it has a chance to be success. Now, look, they can hype it up and they can try to make this a little different. And if it's not any good and it's not fun to watch, people aren't going to keep watching it. So they've done step one. Get people at least tweaking their interest a little bit to see if they can get them to tune in. Now, if it's a good product and it's fun to watch, maybe it's got a chance to succeed.
It's taking golf into the next age here and kind of maybe capturing some of those younger fans that are more in tune with VR and some of the new things within technology that's out there. But also you're talking about pros doing this. So it's not the average golfer that is going out playing on a simulator. You're seeing pros do this.
Yeah.
And then there's the team concept that's involved in it, and something that Liv brought about, and something that people were kind of shunning to begin with. But now you see that the pros are embracing it, and you can thank Liv for that. These are some of the things that it brought about, and now you can see that the merger with PGA and Liv, how it's kind of playing out and taking golf to the next level.
I don't have the list in front of me, but it's a good list of golfers, named golfers that you're going to recognize if you watch, golf on Saturdays. But there are enough big names that even if you're not a big golf fan, you're going to recognize some of the guys that are playing in this. So I'm gonna try. I don't know what my night holds with work and everything, but I'm gonna try to tune in tonight and watch a little bit of it. I'm curious about it. I think it's worth putting it out there as our out of bounds question of the day. Are you interested in watching this tonight, or in the future, just to check it out? Do you plan on checking out the new TGL?
And they're representing cities also.
Oh.
You have New York Golf Club tonight versus the Bay Golf Club. So essentially San Fran and that area. And some of the golfers that are involved in it, Ricky Fowler's a part of it, Xander Schauffele, and Matt Fitzpatrick, they're all teammates. Then you have Wyndham Clark, Shane Lowry, and Ludwig Oberg.
Ludwig. Yeah, I mean, they are. There's some good names in it. What time? Does it say what time tonight? I should know as much. That's what I was thinking, 7 o'clock. They've been promoting the heck out of it on ESPN. Let's go to the D3 Auto Sales text line real quick. And if you want to jump in, we got a little open time. Actually, we're open. No, Kyle Sutherland's joining us at 1:30. We're going to talk some high school basketball with him. I know the 6A Central starts conference play tonight. Some conferences have a couple of conference games already under their belt, but for the majority, I think the majority, pretty close to it. Or let's just say if you haven't started conference play, you're starting it tonight. So it's a good time to talk high school basketball and start our conversion from football to basketball. So Kyle Sutherland's going to join us here at the bottom of the hour. Greg and Bryant says maybe they could stream on Netflix and have them get drunk and play. Or do like DeChambeau and put it on his YouTube channel and get guys on there. I know Daly was on there and he was getting hammered.
So thinking about with Netflix, they debuted wrestling last night.
That's right.
Yeah. A lot of reaction from that. There are a lot of wrestling fans around, and now Netflix seems to be taking that next step of putting sports on there, some of the most popular ones, and drawing in those fans from different sports. So there was a lot of reaction to that today.
They promoted the heck out of that too. It was all over the place, and they did a good job during the NFL games on Christmas Day about talking, working it in. But I know anytime I pull up Netflix, it's right there at the top promoting it, that it's coming.
There was a lot of talk about Hulk Hogan getting booed. So I think that'll pique some interest also, where if you didn't watch it, now you want to go back to see exactly what happened there.
501 wants to know, are we going to spend all of our money on receivers, or are we going to get some defense? Yeah, they got some defense, but the heck, they had to replenish the entire wide receiver room, basically, when you look at the guys that either were graduating or leaving for the NFL or that transferred out. They didn't have anything left, and so they went out and got a brand-new wide receiver room. Yesterday last night they got the receiver, CC, from Stanford, Ishmael CC. And I was told, Richard Davenport told me that word was they really liked this guy, that they felt like he was an underused player. He redshirted the year before last. This year he played, had like 6 starts, 20-something catches, a couple of touchdowns, but felt like, and they didn't do much throwing at Stanford. It was more of a running offense this year. And we know, Stanford had their struggles this year, but felt like he was one of those that kind of a hidden gem that in the right system, that he could flourish and be a much more productive receiver.
They had one of those guys that just got out the building that didn't get used, and then he got used in a bowl game, and he chose to hit the portal also. So that's happening with schools across the country, and now you get your pick of that player from another school.
I had 2 different sources tell me that, speaking of Desmond James, they were going to start him one time this year, that he finally was getting over some injuries, finally getting over some internal issues. I think what it boils down to, he's not a practice player. And obviously he's lights come on, he's a better player, doesn't like to practice, and it was hurting him. And finally they got him practicing, doing some things that they wanted him to do. Being on time, no longer an issue, going to, just little things that we don't know about that goes on that the staff knows about. They finally were getting all that stuff straight off the field. And had a couple of good weeks of practice. They were going to start him. I think it was against Louisiana Tech, and he blew his opportunity. They wouldn't tell me what he did, but had his opportunity. He knew it, and he still blew it. And it got to the point where they were forced to play him. You know, they had no other option, and the guy delivered. So it's one of those with the coaching staff. You know, you got a talented guy, but he's not doing what he's supposed to do. What do you do?
It makes you wonder, can you really depend on that player?
Thank you. That's the short way of saying what I was trying to spit out. Is it safe to – but, yes, they are. Look, guys, there's more portal guys coming, and there's going to be more after the spring. But they didn't lose as much on the defensive side of the ball as they did on the offensive side of the ball. If you look at even in the bowl game, the subtractions were really from the offensive side, and they had to address those. Defensively, there haven't been a ton of guys in the portal. You're going to lose Landon Jackson and Eric Gregory.
Is that a good thing, though?
Yeah. A year older is not necessarily a year better. We've heard that before. Is it safe to say Nelly Davis is a bust in Cal's system? He definitely is not the same dynamic guard he was at FAU. I would say through the first half of the year, yeah, he's a bust, but let's don't count him out yet. You got to factor in the wrist injury, all the missed practice time, even the missed games, as recently as, 2 weeks ago, missing 2 games in a row. Let's let him get healthy and see what he does there. I did hear Coach Cal last night on his coach's show, and he was talking about, he said, we got 2 guys we really got to get going. He did not name the guys. He said, we got two guys we're going to need to depend on. We got to get them going.
No, we know one of them is Nelly, for sure.
Yes.
He didn't have to name him.
Right.
Everybody knows.
And Coach said that's on the assistant coach, and that's on me. And he said that, and we are doing that right now. And he said, and maybe we got to put him in a different role. And that's when I was like, maybe get Nelly the ball in his hands a little bit more, because we discussed that on the show yesterday, that, you know, he had the ball in his hand a lot at FAU. Here at Arkansas, it seems like he stands over there in the corner waiting for someone to make a play and kick it out to him to shoot an open three. Doesn't seem comfortable doing it, and he is definitely not thriving in that role. So maybe Coach Cal and his staff have recognized that, and they're coming up with some ways to get Nelly more involved in the offense. It's what it sounded like last night.
And then Boogie Flan is so versatile. He seems like a player that you would be able to take the ball out of his hands a little bit and allow him to play more of that role, and he could thrive in it because he seems to be able to adapt and thrive in any role that's there.
I think Joe Klein hit it perfect yesterday, though. Non-conference games, games against lesser opponents, you can go one-on-one and beat that guy and go to the basket or get a full 15-foot jumper all day long. You're not going to do that in the SEC. You got to have ball movement. You got to give up the ball and have faith that ball is going to come back to you at some point in that possession, and then you're going to be in a better position to make a move on your defender, that he's going to be out of position. Then you can drive to the basket. So maybe putting him, Nelly or Boogie, off guard gets him involved in the offense even better. I don't know. Coach Cal's getting paid a lot of money. He's won a lot of games. That's up to him. But I like the fact that they've recognized it and they're trying some different things. Joey in Russellville says, hey, Wes, someone signed Zeke. Not sure why, but they did. The Chargers did. We talked about that yesterday. I saw that tweet late last night, and I was like, oh, my gosh. Now, they signed him to the practice squad. To me, it sounds like insurance.
Yeah.
If the top backs – and they do have – was it Dobbins that was injured?
J.K. Dobbins. Yeah, they dealt with some running back injuries this year. So, yeah, that's definitely what it's for. Doesn't seem like they will use him unless needed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you get a signing to a practice squad.
Yeah.
And then that can be something that maybe Zeke's agent heard there was some interest from other teams out there.
Sure.
And that's why he goes to Jerry Jones to say, hey, give me a chance here.
Yeah.
And then speaking of Jerry, it never ends with him with some of those classic comments. He was asked about Mike McCarthy and that whole situation there. And he said he was asked about, will you allow Mike McCarthy to talk to other teams? And he's like, sure, if that's what he wants. I don't want to keep anybody around that doesn't want to be around. He's like, I did the same thing for Zeke. So he threw Zeke in there talking about Mike McCarthy.
Well, that's exactly what happened. That agent got a call from the Chargers and maybe another team, said, hey, we got some interest. If he's no longer with the Cowboys, goes to the Cowboys, and they cut him. just to allow him to go somewhere else, finish his career with the playoff team. So I can respect that. Any news on the new DB coach? That's from the 501. No, I have not heard a word. I'll be honest, I haven't asked about it either. Not at the top of my list of concerns for a new DB coach. We got to take a break. When we come back, maybe it should be, but I'm not really paying attention to it. When we come back, we'll talk some high school hoops. Conference season beginning for a lot of teams tonight. Kyle Sutherland will join us. He's got his rankings. Find out who some of the top teams in the boys and girls side are. Find out who some of the best teams in Central Arkansas. Maybe the game of the night. If you want to get out and watch a game tonight. My guess is you won't get to see any high school hoops Friday. I'm not a weather guy. I just play one on TV. No, I don't even play one on TV. But I got an app. My app says it's going to be snowing. Our meteorologist said, hey, they even said today, low end 5. We may get up even more 5, talking 6 here in Little Rock. Snow's coming. We're getting it. And I don't think we'll have high school basketball Friday. So if you want to see a game tonight or a game this week, you better go tonight. It's Out of Bounds.
The Zone Hotline on 103.7 The Buzz is presented by Jim's Razorback Pizza with 2 locations, Highway 10 past Taylor Loop and just off the Morgan Mall Mill exit.
This is Sports Center.
Last night in college basketball, Arkansas Pine Bluff fell to Alabama State 93-91. 6'8" guard Dr. Bradley had 35 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists on 12 of 17 from the field and 2 of 2 from 3. This was Bradley's second game of the season as he was a late add via the transfer portal. In his first game, he had 30 points and 8 rebounds. UAPB will play again on Saturday as they host Texas Southern. Tonight in college basketball, number 1 Tennessee will take on 8th-ranked Florida in Gainesville at 6 on ESPN2. Georgia will host 6th-ranked Kentucky at 6 on the SEC Network. 2nd-ranked Auburn will face Texas in Austin at 8 on ESPN2. And 14th-ranked Mississippi State will take on Vanderbilt at 8 on ESPNU. Both teams come into the game with a 13-1 record. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
Lost in the business jungle? From new solo proprietors to established multi-owner companies, don't monkey around with your business. There's nothing better than Lion Guidance. Hire Lion Legal. There's no one better to protect your pride than our pride of Legal Lions. Whether in negotiations or war, all businesses need the roar. For exceptional communication and exceptional results in all business-related legal matters, hire Lion Legal to come roaring to the rescue.
Hey Arkansas, Montana with Hubbard Power Sports in Russellville. We're your Arkansas Can-Am and Sea-Doo dealer. Are you looking for your next adventure? On the road, on the water, or in the trails, we've got the ride for you. At Hubbard Power Sports, Can-Am and Sea-Doo of Russellville, we are proud to say we offer the best customer service around. We've won multiple awards for our level of excellence in many different categories, but our customer service is the one we're the most proud of. Come and see us Monday through Saturday or give us a call. See our current inventory, apply for financing, and value your trade at our website, hubbardpowersports.com.
Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse presents Match Game on Morning Mayhem. Listen for your chance to play their version of the classic TV game show. Brought to you by Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse, Arkansas's truck accessory headquarters for over 30 years. Call 501-568-0040 today or click online at arkansastruck.com.
Well, the new year is here, and you've always said, you know what, I really wish I could have just pain-free from my knees, my back, maybe even my shoulder. But you just never have done anything because you say it's too expensive. I don't want to go through surgery. I don't want to be out of work. Well, what if I told you there's a new option? Hey, everybody, it's RJ Hawk. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. They can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments with no steroids, no drugs, and no surgery. Folks, this is the future of medicine using an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis. People all over Central Arkansas are using QC Kinetics to heal their joint pain. Make 2025 the year that you live pain-free and get your life back. Do you want to learn more? Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. The consultation's free. Call QC Kinetics today.
Hey, it's Brooke here, and at Chris Crane Hyundai, we've got a huge selection of pre-loved vehicles like never before. Late models loaded with new technology? Check. Payments to fit any budget? Check. Silverados, Civics, Broncos, clothes, and more. Check, check, check. Saints that love to say yes, you know it.
Our pre-loved inventory has never been better than now. Come visit your friends at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway and online at chriscranehyundai.com.
This is Thomas Blackman of Blackman Auctions. If I only had a dime for every time I said the words, my dad used to say, I'd be a rich man. But his lessons in the auction business are still ringing in my head for every auction I do. Treat your buyers with patience and hospitality. Never forget the sellers are trusting you with their money and their legacy, and that each extra dollar you get for them at an auction is extra money for their family. All of those sayings keep the Blackman team working hard for you at every auction. For 3 generations and since 1938, better auctions are Blackman Auctions.
Out of Bounds, live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio.
Welcome back. It is Out of Bounds. Let's talk some high school basketball. Conference play underway officially tonight for everybody. Kyle Sutherland joins us. What's up, Kyle? How are you?
Doing good, guys. How about y'all? Been a busy day for me, for sure.
I bet. Hey, and you got a new gig. Tell everybody about it.
Yeah, so most probably have known me from when I worked at SB Live. I was with them from October 2021 until actually last April when they did a series of essentially let-goes. And got on the phone, but kind of long story short, got on the phone about a week and a half ago. I was approached and kind of was told some things that it was really hard to turn down, and I really feel like there's a lot of opportunities in this market now that they're under the Sports Illustrated umbrella, and here we are. So already done about 3 stories today, so it's definitely back in the saddle from what I used to be doing.
That's awesome. I'm happy for you, and I'm glad you're back writing and talking high school sports. It's very valuable for a lot of people, so that's awesome. I'm glad. I was glad to see that tweet this morning.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, let's talk. Let's start with high school boys basketball. We'll get to the girls in a minute. And first thing that jumped out to me, and we had our Arkansas sports media poll that was released yesterday, and Jonesboro was number 1 in that poll. Jonesboro is back. They had an uncharacteristic year last year, but this year it looks like the Jonesboro of old.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Wes Swift is one of the best all time. It goes without saying. Not just what he's done at Jonesboro. He's been successful pretty much anywhere that he's been. And last year definitely was an uncharacteristic season for them. I know that I was on with you guys, I think, around state tournament time last year, and there were some questions because I had them like around, I think, between 15 and 20, but yet they had a 500 record. And a lot of that was because they had some big wins and they had kept a lot of things close, but I also was not going to give up on a Wes Swift coach team until they were knocked out. And they made it to the quarterfinals and gave, I think it was Springdale, a pretty good game. And then things just kind of didn't work out like they normally do. And you're going to have those types of seasons, but they lost a lot from that 2022 and 23 class. So they kind of were reloading, and now that they've really got things figured out, I mean, Jonesboro is the Jonesboro of old. They are undefeated. They got that one loss to an out-of-state school, but they are playing just lockdown defense. And really, other than playing about 8, 9, 10 guys, that's kind of been a Wes Swift MO for his whole career.
Kyle, the rankings we're seeing right now are based on what's happened so far during the season, but how do these rankings compare to what you had going into the season, what your preseason rankings look like, and your thought on some of these teams going into the season?
I would say probably just off the top of my head, the biggest surprise is probably Mills being at number 4. And it's not that Mills doesn't. Raymond Cooper, just like Wes Swift, I mean, has put a great product on the floor for years and years. But really over the past 2 or 3 seasons, you look at the beginning, whether that's them waiting on guys for football or dealing with injuries, whatever the case may be, they tend to start off pretty slowly. And by slowly, I mean by conference play, they're typically, at least again in the last 2 or 3 years, are under a 500 record. So this year they come in 17-1. What was it? Their lone loss, I think, if I remember correctly, was Benton. So nothing to shake a stick at there, number 3. So I think Mills, not necessarily that they're in the position that they are, but as far as those high-ranked teams, I did not see them being at number 4 at the beginning of January.
What about some of the teams that are lower ranked than what you expected?
Looking through there, Forest City, we had a lot of hype for. I remember watching Forest City at the Big Miller team camp back in June that was held at North Little Rock. I was really impressed with them, but they've climbed. They're right outside the top 10 at number 12. Farmington, I've had a lot of questions about them coming into the season just because you lose a kid like Lane Taylor, but I think that we tend to forget too. Johnny Taylor, his dad, has been doing this a long time and has been at Forge for close to a decade now, I guess. And Lane's little brother Press has been really big for them as a freshman. So they're sitting at number 15. Have had a really good start. Really, just haven't seemed to skip a beat for the most part. But really, probably the last one that I would think of would be West Memphis coming in at number 22. Marcus Brown, that played in the NBA, played overseas, won a state title or two early in the 90s at West Memphis there. He is now back for his second stint after he was the head coach when they split in 2020 during the COVID year. And West Memphis really for the last 3 years has had some seasons that were below their standards. So them checking in at 11-4 as the number 22 team, I think that's definitely a good start for him in his second stint.
So Jonesboro, the top team in the state, who would you have as the top team in Central Arkansas?
Oh, man, when Bryant's fully healthy, they're starting. Benton is in that conversation. They've been banged up. And the King Cotton Classic, I know that they played tough, but they played shorthanded. Of course, Bryant's been playing the whole first half. I mean, they've had even though that their record's 9-7, they've played just like a lot of these top 10 teams that have just a brutal schedule. But they haven't played with Kellen Robinson. He's been out with an injury, and he signed with Little Rock back in November, and so they're expecting to get him back some point. But I think, Wes, you probably got to look at those two teams in Central Arkansas. I know that's kind of an easy answer and also Mills has got to be in that mix, but it's an easy answer to say Benton or Bryant, just considering they're ranked at 3 and 6 respectively. But you can probably stay in Saline County if you're looking for the top team overall.
What did you think of King Cotton Classic and how some of these teams perform?
I thought it was great. It was awesome. Just, of course, covering Arkansas sports, I was extremely happy that Springdale won it. They're the fourth or fifth team in the history of that whole entire event that's ever won it from Arkansas. So, thought the Red Dogs really did a good. They've had some great seasons over the past few years. Of course, Cortland Muldrew, when he was there, now he's at Harbor, and then Isaiah Seeley's been balling out for him for the past 3-4 years, and then they added Jackson Conley from Harbor this year. So I think that program is right on the verge of a possible state championship. I mean, they've been so close, but I know that was really big for them to win that right before starting conference play and just give you even more momentum.
You haven't mentioned Little Rock Christian Academy and J.J. Andrews. What do you think of those guys?
Yeah, Tyler Wayman, a really great job there, taking over for Kyle Pennington. Of course, they're the back-to-back 4A state champions, and now they're in Class 5A, and their only losses, they've had 3. They played again, just like Kyle Pennington used to do, putting them through a gauntlet with a bunch of out-of-state teams, a bunch of the in-state top teams. That's exactly what Tyler Wayman has done, and their only losses are to Springdale and then 2 out-of-state programs. So they've actually got a really big matchup with Bryant tonight. Great top 10 matchup there right before they get into conference play. But, I don't think that there was expected to be a whole lot of drop-off. Like you said, when you've got I like to refer to and many others as a phenom in J.J. Andrews. You lose a Jamil Wesley, which was a huge blow just because of his leadership. I think he's actually playing some decent minutes at Henderson State now. So, yeah, losing that one, but also just getting J.J. back along with some of the other pieces that they have. But, when you've got something to build around him, you've got a really special team.
When you look at girls basketball, the more things change, the more they stay the same, with Conway being top-ranked team and always being right there at the top in girls basketball.
Absolutely. That's that team that you start. They're going to be in your top 5 preseason. A lot of times they'll be in your top 2. It just seems like, especially in the Ashley Hutchcraft era, that's where you got to start with them. And really over the past couple of years, Farmington I believe actually in Eric Taylor's poll too, the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, I want to say Farmington finished first in that one as well as ours that we did last year as well. So Farmington has really been in that mix as a top 2-3 team. They just went to Tennessee and went 3-1 against. So they beat the South Carolina 4A state champion. They played some other top teams that have got multiple top 50, top 100 prospects. So Lady Cardinals, they're moved up to 5A in that conference in the West with Mountain Home that's also in the top 5, and Van Buren that's a little bit of a sneaky team right now, but certainly Conway is the one that you always really start with. And, they play their arch rival, North Little Rock, this week. That's another one of those that you look at anytime you start thinking about some of the top teams in the state. And I think that we haven't seen the best. Their record isn't terrible by any means, North Little Rock, checking in at number 10. But I don't think that we've seen the best of that team, like really not even close yet. I think that they've got some stuff maybe down the line. Assuming that they stay healthy, they've got something in the back half of the season that they can really explode.
Kyle Sutherland with us. Tell us about Mountain Home Girls, because I saw them in our poll. I see them in your poll, and I don't know if I know anything about the Mountain Home Girls.
Yeah, they're really solid. Dell Leonard's been there. You think about some of the best coaches that's been around for a long time. I mean, Dell Leonard's up there. He might not get talked about as much, but they had a good run last year. Went to the quarterfinals. I think lost to Bologna, but they brought back a good bit. But they also added Brooklyn Mitchell. They brought back about 2 or 3 key starters, and they added Brooklyn Mitchell, who's a 26 from Harrison, and guys, she can play. I mean, she is really good. If you get a chance, I would try to go to the Bomber Sports Network. Go check them out, and I can't remember what number she is, but I mean they were already, I would say, a state title. Of course, Farmington is by far the team to beat in Class 5A. Let's call it what it is. But even before Brooklyn came in, I would say they were a top 3, top 4 team in Class 5A, and then right with her, they're definitely challenging, for that 2 spot. I think no matter what poll you look at. So, between Anna McCarn was one that they brought back, and there's one that I'm thinking of. There's one that signed with Harding that actually, to me, was actually maybe a lower D1 player that Harding got a steal on. But there's just a few that they brought back, and then adding Brooklyn Mitchell, along with great coaching, that has really just really taken them to the next level. And, of course, the hangar is extremely difficult to play at.
How about defending state champs Central and how they fared so far?
So that's another one. They usually play a lot of out-of-state competition. They go to the Sandra Meadows Classic, which Conway usually plays in a lot. I know Bologna's played in it the past couple of years. I think it's in Texas. I want to say it's in Dallas. And, Central's in the top 10 again. They were one that you probably expected to take a step back, because the 2 or 3 that they lost, I think they lost a few more seniors, but 2 or 3 in particular, especially Jordan Marshall, and that was massive. She was the MVP of the state championship game. But they were able to get a win against, I think it was Summer Creek was the team that they beat to really close out that Sandra Meadows Classic and get a little bit of momentum. But also what really gave them some momentum, though, speaking of that, was beating Nashville, which Nashville, guys, I'll get to them in a second, but that was an overtime game that they were able to come out on top of at home. And Nashville's been one of those teams in the Paul Dean era over the past few years that has been certainly one of the top ones in 4A. Remember that one from 3 years ago when they hit Sidney Townsend at that shot with 0.3 seconds or 3 seconds left, whatever it was. And they're down 3 starters this year so far right now. I think they're getting one back pretty soon. But they can play with just about anybody, and they've proven that. Paul Dean's schedule's as tough as anybody, and then you look at their 4A7 conference. They've dominated. I don't think they've lost a conference game for the past 3 years. But you've got an undefeated DeQueen team in there that's got Nashville's previous assistant coach. He took his stepdaughter with him over there. You've also got Arkadelphia that's really good. I know Camden Fairview's got a top prospect, Mimi Fusler. So you've got a lot of really good teams. And Magnolia is another one that's pretty decent. I think they actually had a key injury. So the 4A7 West is kind of a lot like what we're used to in football right now. I don't know that maybe, it's still Nashville's to lose, but we don't see it typically this deep. I can't remember if I mentioned Arkadelphia in there too. They're also in the mix. But, yeah, this is a very loaded conference in there along with Nashville and the 4A7.
In the 4A girls, you have Pulaski Academy ranked the highest out of all of them, though?
Yeah, right now I think that they've probably earned their due. I think probably when you really start talking about the best team, I mean, to me, if Nashville's healthy, they're the best. This is maybe a hot take to some, but I think if they're at their best, they're probably the favorite by about 15 or 20 points. I will say that on record all day, every day. And they're they're that talented, they're that well coached. But then you look at a PA team that's also extremely talented, coached by a Hall of Famer and Becky Yarbrough that came up from Star City, and they're unbeaten right now. They're looking really good. And then you look at DeQueen, that's undefeated in year one under Brett Burgess. And not to take anything away from it, PA's had a couple of games that were really tough. And not to say that all games aren't tough, but as far as just the overall strength of schedule, Nashville's got both of those teams, really any team in 4A beat by, a pretty substantial long shot. But I certainly think when you're talking about number one in 4A, it's really those three teams right now, PA, Nashville, and the Queen.
Game of the night. If you want to get out and watch some basketball tonight, where would you tell somebody to go?
Probably if you're looking at the boys, I would definitely say that if you're in the area, that Little Rock Christian and Bryant, I was going blank there, is going to be a really good one, a top 10 matchup, a 5A versus a 6A that both are certainly going to challenge for their respective classes. The girls, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have that schedule really off the top of my head, but the one to really watch this week is when Conway and North Little Rock play each other.
Yeah.
It's a top 10 matchup, just about top 10, top 5, sometimes top 2, anytime that they square off. So that's definitely, I would say, one probably in the area that you want to keep an eye on.
Well, you got tonight North Little Rock Central girls. So
that's right.
That's not a bad points matchup either.
Tonight. So North Little Rock's got a huge week. I mean, they've got a chance to really, and look, Daryl Fimple is, we talk about great coaches. I mean, what a job he's done throughout his career at Lone Oak, at North Little Rock, and there's been some questions about North. I know that they did. I know coming into the season have an injury to maybe one or two of their starters, but I really like this North Little Rock team again this year, and I think they're going to make some noise.
Kyle, we appreciate it. Let's start doing this on Tuesday. Talk a little high school basketball preview and some of the good games. I enjoyed it.
All right, guys. Sounds good. Appreciate it as always.
That's Kyle Sutherland joining us on Out of Bounds. Good to have him back writing for Sports Illustrated. High School's SI is what it's called. High School SI. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the first hour. We can take a call. I'll check the D3 Auto Sales text line. Got Coach Z coming up at the top of the next hour talking some Razorbacks basketball. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
Whatever you're doing this weekend, if it doesn't involve fast horses, daily doubles, high fives, and corned beef sandwiches, you may be doing it wrong. Every weekend through May 3rd, Oaklawn has live thoroughbred racing. Whether your Oaklawn is cheering from the home stretch, dining in the Bugler restaurant, or raising a glass at the First Turn bar, your race day is whatever you want it to be. Make reservations today at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your boating experience begins this weekend at the 43rd Annual Arkansas Marine Expo, Arkansas's premier boat show at the State House Convention Center in Little Rock. All dealers will be on hand selling their new 2025 boats at special discount show prices. Win a new $10,000 Sea-Doo Spark, courtesy of BRP and Bradford Marine and ATV. $10 for adults, children 12 and under, free. Don't miss Arkansas's premier boat show this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the State House Convention Center in Little Rock. Another Denton and Griffey attraction.
Well, you did it. You bought or built that dream home. Now you're just wishing your home loan rate was just as dreamy. Telco Credit Union can give you a better rate and help you save money. Don't wait. This is your sign to run, don't walk, and see my friends at Telco Credit Union. Give them a call at 501-375-5321. That's 501-375-5321, or visit telco.com today and tell them Coach Z sent you.
Have you ever lifted a piece of furniture only to discover the carpet underneath looks brand new while the rest of it looks, well, not brand new? That's when you realize you need new carpet. At the Home Depot, we have a wide selection of all the top brands. Best of all, installation is included. So all you need to do is choose something that matches your style. Start your carpet project today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Installation included with qualifying purchases. Exclusions apply. For licenses, see homedepot.com/license numbers.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings plus special financing. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Are you ready to take your classic car or vintage 4x4 to the next level? Look no further than Overland Auto Restoration in Cabot. Our team of restoration experts have decades of experience in preserving the beauty and heritage of classic vehicles for our clients all across the country. From modern mechanical upgrades that enhance performance to new upholstery and paint, Overland ensures every detail is handled with care and completed right on time. Call Overland Auto Restoration in Cabot at 501-246-4372 or visit overlandautoworks.com and let us get your classic ride back on the road, looking and driving better than ever.
Hey Razorback fans, it's Quinn Grovey. Check out the new location of Bellins Ford in Conway. Suits, shirts, vests, also polos with Arkansas logo gear from Johnny O and Peter Millar. A store within a store with Arkansas-made Martin Dingman shoes and leather goods. Fantastic service with a tailor on staff to fit you perfectly. Go to the new location, Bellins Ford, 1011 Oak Street, Conway, or on Facebook and Instagram.
Tune in to Out of Bounds each Monday for Weekend Recap, brought to you by Fleet Management Services. Serving Central Arkansas for over 20 years, they're your small to mid-sized fleet specialists that also takes care of our fleet at Signal Media. Fleet Management Services is now hiring for Loop Tech, Tire Tech, and Light Maintenance. 8 paid holidays and paid vacation, paid health insurance, and 401k. Pay depends on experience and signing bonus. Apply in person at 901 East 8th Street in Little Rock.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio. Gwatney Chevrolet. Driving, trust every mile.
Welcome back. Glad you're with us. Joe and I were talking about the snow contingency plans. Snow's coming. Morning meeting up at the TV station. Our meteorologist was talking about the changes overnight, and the changes were for the worse as far as total amounts, or for the better if you're rooting for more snow.
Kids will.
Yeah.
Kids are just going back to school today, and they're looking forward to a day out on Friday.
Maybe a day out Monday.
Yeah.
Issue to me, we're going to get this. And they even moved up the timeline. She did say the models are moving up the timeline to where it starts Thursday around noon. They were thinking Thursday around 5, 6 o'clock. And I'm talking Little Rock. And, of course, the further southwest you go, the sooner it's going to hit. But for the Little Rock metro area, they were thinking around 6 o'clock. Now they're saying there's the potential it starts around noon. Because it seems like it's speeding up a little bit. And they think the potential's there for more snow. Last night during the 9 o'clock news, they were talking about up to 3 inches. Now they're talking about 5 inches, maybe more. And, that's a significant amount of snow for Little Rock. And I think we'll be able to drive around if you got a four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. I think you're going to be fine Friday. The issue, I think, is going to be Saturday when it starts to melt off the road, because it's going to get in the 40s Saturday. It's supposed to. Some of that melts, gets wet, then refreezes Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Same thing. I mean, you talk about it's going to happen again Sunday night, refreeze, then Monday, these little small roads, streets, just normal streets around town. It's hard for people to get around, buses to get around. You get school parking lots, snow-covered, ice. It may be a couple days they could be out.
That's where the issue comes in, because the main streets, they're going to get out and make sure they treat those and everything's good there. They're going to retreat them and everything, but they can't get into some of these neighborhoods and do that. They just can't. It's not plausible that they can do that for everyone.
And think about out in the county. You get outside of the city limits. So many roads, so many streets, and it's just it becomes tough for the school buses to run. So I get it. And I told my daughter already. I said, I bet you don't go. You're not going to school Friday. I bet you don't go to school Monday.
Well, what about Thursday if it starts as soon as they're talking
I told her
about?
she'd probably get an early call.
Early, yeah.
Lunch, get out at lunch. But we still got, what's today, Tuesday? And that's what the meteorologists will tell you. We're still a good 48 hours away from this event happening, and a lot of things can change with snow. But all signs are indicating that it's going to be a significant amount of snow for central Arkansas.
Honestly, on the way in today, saw a few small flakes.
There was some good little what Todd called. I saw Todd's tweet. Basically, it was so cold and dry, it was squeezing the moisture out of the air, and when that happens, it has to fall, and it fell as snow. And there was some Skycam shots of like Jacksonville, North Little Rock, of nice looking little snowstorms, showers coming down. But yeah, I was out at West Little Rock. I went and worked out this morning and saw it falling from the sky, and I was like, oh wow, we've already got a little bit.
Coming.
But this is totally different from what is coming. What's coming is going to be significant. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, let's talk Arkansas basketball. Got the Razor Hog update brought to you by Bradford Marine and ATV, and then Coach Z will join us. We'll preview Ole Miss, look back a little bit about Tennessee, get his thoughts about that game, but really focus on Ole Miss and see if Arkansas can't get that first SEC win. Stick around. Hour number 2 is coming up next. It's Out of Bounds.
103.7 The Buzz is your home for Arkansas Razorbacks basketball. Coverage is brought to you by Gwatney Chevrolet, Malvern National Bank, Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, Genesis of Conway, and Chris Crane Hyundai.
Hello, this is Justin Acree. If foot or ankle pain is slowing you down, it's time to visit the experts at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. Doctors Martin, Matthews, and Parham provide both surgical and non-surgical treatment for foot and ankle issues. From common problems to more serious conditions, they're here to get you back on your feet, literally. Call Ortho at 501-686-TOSH to schedule your appointment today and get back to living pain-free. That's 501-686-8674. The doctor will see you now.
It's the 35th Annual Reliance Bank Arkansas Big Buck Classic presented by Arkansas's best Chevy dealers, January 24th through 26th at the State Fairgrounds. There are hundreds of vendors with huge discounts on all types of hunting equipment. Hunters, bring your antlers for a chance to win a Can-Am Defender from Bradford Marine and ATV. The 35th Annual Reliance Bank Arkansas Big Buck Classic presented by Arkansas's best Chevy dealers. Sponsored by Hunter's Refuge, Remington, Taka Hunting Gear, and Outlaw Beer.
Our guys aren't so bad, right?
This is taking unsportsmanlike conduct to a whole new level.
Well, maybe not. 103.7 The Buzz, KABZ, Little Rock. Buzz News with KARK's Claire Kreitz.
The new Arkansas Supreme Court Justice is addressing the controversy surrounding the court's employees. Chief Justice Karen Baker was sworn in a week ago and tried to fire 10 of the court's directors in her first few days. The rest of the justices handed down an administrative order saying their employment would not be terminated. That's not the only drama Baker is facing. A different opinion by the state Supreme Court shows she also tried to make 3 appointments without notifying the rest of the court. It goes on to say Baker does not have the authority to do that because judges appointed to the commission must be approved by the entire state Supreme Court. A state lawmaker is planning to run for Secretary of State. Republican State Senator Kim Hammer is based in Benton. Prior to that, he was a member of the State House from 2010 to 2018. Now he will run for the Secretary's seat in 2026. This is Claire.
Hi, I'm Trey Reed from the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, inviting you to join me every Wednesday morning for the latest news from the great outdoors. It's brought to you by Arts Marine in North Little Rock, now under new ownership, but with the same familiar faces and incredible service you've known for years, plus the area's best selection of boating parts and supplies.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with KARK's Juliana Cullen.
Plenty of sunshine for your Tuesday, but cold temperatures will be sticking around as we move towards the rest of the day. I'd say in the mid to upper 30s, but feels like temperatures will likely remain in the lower 30s. Clear skies overnight tonight. It's going to be another cold and dry day for your Wednesday, and once again, highs only in the mid 30s. This was meteorologist Juliana Cullen with the Arkansas Storm Team for the Buzz Radio Network.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
Listen each Friday during Drive Time Sports for the basketball insider in Arkansas. It's Pure Sweat Skills and Training's Bart Reed, made possible by Martin Orthopedics, with locations in Little Rock, North Little Rock, Cabot, and Hot Springs Village. Staffed with fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons and sports medicine specialists. For more information on the web, go to martinortho.care. Willie D's Rock and Roll Piano Bar open every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Cold drinks and dueling pianos. Deep Nightclub downstairs hosts karaoke on Tuesdays and DJ Spin on Friday and Saturday nights. Visit WillieD'sPianoBar.com.
If you've ever stood overlooking a bluff on Petit Jean, floated the Buffalo, taken a leisurely drive through miles of Delta farmland, or even witnessed a brilliant sunset from your own backyard, you know Arkansas is full of beauty. Naturally, that leaves no room for trash. Get litter out of the picture and keep Arkansas in its natural state, clean and green. Visit keeparkansasbeautiful.com to learn more. A message from this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and the Keep Arkansas Beautiful Commission.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
On your way to the Little Rock Airport this morning? While you're away, we're pampering your car. We can fix or replace your windshield, even help file the insurance claim. Imagine returning home to a car that has been washed and detailed, plus had an oil change, brake inspection, even a tire rotation. And if you return to a dead battery or a flat tire, we're there to get you back on the road. Fast, secure parking for less than municipal airport parking. Expressway airport parking, left of the airport entrance.
And ESPN Radio Extra Point with Joe Fortenbaugh.
Anyone with half a sense of how to bet on sports understands that there were plenty of red flags with all the one-score wins. Everyone knew you weren't as good as your record indicated, and everyone knew it was a fluke with Daniel Jones. But you did not. So you decided you're going to give the guy a contract extension, and you're going to try to run it back. That's ego. That's you thinking you got the most out of Daniel Jones, and you're going to be able to fix him. So you made the decision to move forward with Daniel Jones, and then it didn't work. And then you ran it back another year and it didn't work again, and now we get a reset. So applause to John Mara for the idea that he wants some level of consistency, but we got a 3-year body of work here. It's not an impressive body of work. It continues to get worse. And if I ask you this question, what do you think they would answer with? What's the plan? Because I would love to know what the plan is. It doesn't appear as if there is one.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
We're getting crushed out here. What's going on with you, Nick? You used to be the unstoppable king of flag football.
I'm feeling my age. At 40, I feel like I can't keep up anymore.
Is it lower testosterone?
Lower T?
Yeah. When you turn 40, you have less testosterone. It's harder to stay lean and get the same results you used to get. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I know Nugenix. It really gives you an edge.
No question. At work, the gym, the bedroom, Nugenix turned back the clocks. Now I've got the same energy that I did in my 20s.
I want to try Nugenix.
All right, time out. Guys, go text Nugenix and get yourselves a complimentary bottle to try.
Text SPIRAL to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text SPIRAL to 42424. That's SPIRAL to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent it.
Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet Studios, this is Out of Bounds with Joe Franklin and Wes Moore on 103.7 The Buzz. It's now time for your Razor Hog Update, presented by Bradford Marine and ATV, your Can-Am super headquarters. Bradford Marine and ATV with many statewide locations. Visit BradfordMarine.com, selling fun since 1971.
For me and for us as a staff and our team,
no matter whether you win or lose, it's always about the response. So I'm excited about our response. I was excited about our response in our first possession of practice. I'm as equally as excited for our first day, the first possession of practice today, and so on and so forth.
Chen Coleman speaking with the media earlier this morning. I will say Coach Calipari said the same thing on his radio show last night, that he was really pleased, excited about the way the team responded in their first practice back after the Tennessee loss. That hopefully they have a little chip on their shoulder and practice like that yesterday. And he said the key is kind of today, you want to go hard and be physical, and that's what they had yesterday, a very physical practice. He felt like that was missing against the Tennessee game. Duh, we saw that. But he said yesterday was very physical, and he wants to do it again today, but he was like, you're so close to a game, you risk wearing a team out less than 24 hours from a game. So it was something he was still kind of thinking about and how to go about it, how physical to go. One of the things that Coach Chen Coleman was talking about was this same thing and getting this team to become a physical team.
We emphasized it, but I think that now we understand. And so the things that we emphasize, I think we're able to now have their attention in terms of, we got enough stops. They still shot under 40%, and we just didn't obviously capitalize on when we made them miss, securing the rebound. And so we are doing a better job, if not emphasizing it even more, which we did extremely, how well of an offensive rebounding team Tennessee was. And I think that now our antennas are up and we're prepared for this challenge.
Sometimes when you're exposed, you realize you got to work on it, fix it, and get better at it, and that's the hope, at least, with this team when it comes to rebounding. Look, they're big enough. That's a big team. I mean, 5, 4, even the guards or the wings are big. They should be able to get some rebounds. And that was one of the glaring things to me, not only, and we discussed it with Trevin Brazile and Jonas Adu and Big Z, the lack of rebounds, 10 rebounds between the three of them in 50 minutes. That's not good enough. But the guards got to help too. They got some big guards, some wings, whether it's Carter Knox or whoever, Nellie Davis. Get in there, Wagner. Rebound. I mean, you look at it, Boogie Flan had 3 rebounds. They were all offensive rebounds.
Yeah, it's good to have some guards that rebound and are a part of that, but you have to have more from front court players altogether, and that's where it starts up front because they're the closest, they're the tallest. You have to get more out of them.
Well, and sometimes Tennessee taking a lot of threes, they miss those threes. Where do those rebounds go?
Oh, they're long rebounds.
Yeah, get those guards chasing them down. Speaking of guards, speaking of Nellie Davis, here's Chen Coleman on Nelly.
We're gonna coach is gonna try to do some things to get him going, but obviously, being out for 2-3 weeks and that's a tough game to come back and rehab against, right? When it's a very high level game, he wasn't prepared. I don't think anyone in that situation would just come out and be lights out and shoot lights out and play lights out after having so much time off and coming back into that game. And so we're trying to work him back into what we're doing, and we're going to try to do as much as we can to get him some easy looks. Not that all of his attempts are threes. We think that Jonell is a scorer that can score on all 3 levels. So we're trying to help him, but he's putting in the work to help himself. So it'll happen. He'll play better. He'll come through. We have all the confidence in the world in him.
Is he the key player left to get going? Is he the guy that they have to get going between now and March?
He is, but Thero, he needs to be more consistent.
Yeah, he's coming off one of his, I hate to say worst games. It may have been his worst game, but I mean, you think about the addition of all these guys, and when they signed Nelly, maybe one of the quote, rated at least one of the top portal guys, and what he did at FAU. I know the expectation for me and a lot of the fan base was Nelly was going to be an all-SEC type player, and we haven't seen anything like that. That's why I think he may be the key to this thing, get him going. to make a huge difference in this team. And you look at what they're missing. That's one of the things that they're missing. Let's go to Big Z, Little Z, Coach Zimmerman. What's up, Coach? How are you?
What's up, Wes? Man, I'm doing okay. It's cold up here, man. I'm trying to stay warm. We've had 3 cold days in a row, and we're trying to get Bud Walton heated up, hot, and get ready for tomorrow night. Got to get back on the winning track and beat these Rebels coming into town.
This is one of the few times that Little Rock and the southern part of the state's going to get all the snow. Y'all are going to get a little bit, but, I mean, they're talking 5-6 inches for us on Thursday night,
Crazy.
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the line of where the storm's moving across this morning. I was stunned because, yeah, we always get most in the state compared to other people, but I was like, wow, they're going to get it down there, but we don't have any. We got a little bit of a dusting, Sunday evening through the night, but it was not much at all, nothing on the roads or anything. And then, now there's no snow. It's just so cold, and hope everybody down there is safe. And hopefully the folks that are still wanting to come to the game can make it up here and then get back home before that snow sets in.
You should have a problem Wednesday night. Yeah, it's not going to hit here till Thursday afternoon. They'll be good.
Yeah,
Coach.
there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. When the game's at 6 o'clock, it's early game on Wednesday, so that's good.
So what are you looking for from the team to improve upon that last performance? And just kind of your thoughts on the game against Tennessee.
Well, that game wasn't any good. It was they were just so much more physical. They hit us. They were aggressive, and we kind of looked taken aback a little bit. We were kind of like wanting to feel our way. And early on, we were playing pretty well. DJ got going. You're hitting shots. You're up 12-9. You're like, okay, we look good. And I thought maybe the pressure of being the number 1 ranked team, the pressure of being at home might get to them. But Tennessee basically said, okay, we're not shooting it that great. Arkansas's guarding is decent. We're not shooting it really well. So we're just going to dominate the glass, and we're going to go get every rebound, and we're going to bully ball. We're going to be more physical and more aggressive. And they did that, and they built that lead. They're up 15 at half, and we never carved into it. You kept thinking we might be able to make a run and get them to feel a little bit more pressure. Never did. And, Chaz Lanier, I'd watched about 5 of their games. I'd watched their Illinois game, and I'd seen quite a bit of their stuff before we played them. And I knew he was really good, but I thought, okay, transfer from North Florida, good size. Surely when we get in the league, he'll take a little step back. But he was better than I think we thought he was. I mean, lean backs, fadeaways, quick release, good size, tough. And Lanier is so good, and they got him in that role. They had Dalton Connect in last year where they run a lot of sets for him. He comes off a lot of screens, and he's going to get a lot of shots. And he's the one guy that shot it well. I mean, Eagle were 18 rebounds. You always, when you're coaching 40-minute game, I know a goal we used to always have was, man, if we can get 40 rebounds. And usually you got 33 to 38 rebounds in a game. That's where most college teams get. Hopefully you can out-rebound somebody 35 to 30 or 20 or 38 to 28, something like that, But for them to get 51 rebounds, we didn't shoot a good percentage. They didn't shoot a good percentage either. And there's a lot of rebounds to get, but to get 51, they get 4 more rebounds. That's a record against Arkansas. And they just dominated the glass. So, they watch that film, study that, look at all your mess ups, and work on it on Monday, work on it on Tuesday today, and then get after it. And tomorrow night, you're at home, you're playing Ole Miss, and throughout the series, we've beaten Ole Miss a lot of times, and they've beaten us some too. But in Fayetteville in general, we've done well against them. And so we're going to have to, but none of that matters when they throw the ball up tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. And, but you got to play well. Chris Beard, is a good coach. And it'll be an interesting game. Hopefully our defense will lock those guys in, and we'll be able to get a victory.
Yeah, I talked to Joe Klein yesterday a lot about the rebounding issue, especially the offensive rebounds for Tennessee. And one of the problems I saw, Arkansas blocked so many shots, but then there's shots that they don't block, and then when you try to block it, your guy is right there underneath the goal, gets an easy rebound in the putback, and that happened a lot. And he goes, well, to stop that, they've got to do a better job of stopping the penetration so that they're not having to get off their man to go block a shot or alter a shot. And that was one of the problems that he saw with it that's leading to the offensive rebounds. You know, there's so many things that lead to an offensive rebound. We don't think about dribble penetration.
Yeah, he made a really good point there, and that's for sure. Speaking of the blocks, I mean, how often do you see a team have 10 blocks and the opponent have one, Wes? You know that the team that had 10 blocks is probably going to win that game. Well, not only did they not win the game, they lost by 24.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very unusual because blocking shots is not everything, but it shows athleticism, it shows size, it shows aggressiveness, it shows the ability to play some defense. 10 blocks is impressive. And if you block 10 shots every single game, you'd lead the nation by 4 blocks a game, 3 blocks a game. And so it was crazy that you had all these blocks and you lose by 24 points. And they came up with every 50-50 ball, seemed like every loose ball, balls on the floor, or balls bouncing around. They came up with them. And they're strong. They've got a physical team. Now, they're going to get beat tonight, I think. Tennessee's really, really, really good. But Florida can really score it, and Florida will be good in Gainesville. They got the undefeated number 1 ranked team coming in there. If you're Tennessee, you're going to have to go in there and beat them by. You got to go beat them by 12 to beat them by 1 on the scoreboard. You're going to have to thoroughly outplay Florida tonight, and maybe they will. But I would think Florida would knock those guys off tonight, which will kind of be good for the Razorbacks because Florida will be feeling very good. Their stock will rise a bunch, and then they got to come to Bud Walton Saturday.
Coach, a lot of talk about Arkansas's front court. What are you seeing there, and what more would you like to see?
Well, 4, really athletic, big guys that can block shots, change shots. They all 4 really need to rebound better collectively. Adu being tied to Trevin Brazile and to Zavonamir and to Jonas Adu. And the 4 of them really, they all collectively got to rebound the basketball better. Adu's been so good offensively. He's only had 2 bad games. That one was a bad one for him. He needs to bounce back and just get back to doing what he was doing. I thought Zavonamir was pretty good. He made a 3. He made a couple of nice passes. He blocked 3 shots. He changed a couple more shots. He didn't get a lot of minutes. And hopefully his minutes will start going back up now that they got the 9-man rotation back. And, I thought that impacted us a little bit because we've still had so many games. We've got 9 guys there for a little bit. Then we had back down to 8. And then we went, back to 9. And we went back to 8. And we went to 7. And we went back to 9 for the first conference game. Nelly was out the last 2 games before the SEC. So now you add him, and he ate up quite a few minutes. That's 9 guys. Z, I think, should get some more minutes. And I think after they went and saw the film, I think they were able to see, Big Z didn't play bad at all. And so hopefully that'll give him more time because he is a big difference maker defensively. When they beat us off the dribble, he's good at getting over there and helping and doing so much defensively. But those guys got to be better. The 4 bigs, especially rebounding. And I think they got to give us a little bit more of a physical presence as well. Adu already does that. He's super a physical player. But he's the smallest of those 4. He's 6'8". Them other 3 guys got to be a little more physical.
Matt Zimmerman with us on Out of Bounds. Coach, is Nelly Davis the key to this game? Because I don't know if they can get where they want to get without Nelly Davis.
He obviously has to give a lot more than he was able to do in his first game back. He didn't score. He didn't play very well. He got beat off the dribble some. I think he was one of them that kind of got a little bit of issues with Tennessee's screening game in their offense. So I think he's going to have a good game. He's played at a high level of college basketball, but this is the highest level he's played at, and he's going to have to rise up in these league games. And so we need his shooting. He can shoot. He's shown an ability to shoot, and we're going to need him to make some shots. He don't need to make 5 threes a game, but he needs to make 2 or 3 threes a game. And I think his defense has got to get back to what he was known for at Florida Atlantic, being able to stay in front of guys and then also be a rebounder. His rebounding numbers were always good. He's not been rebounding any. And so, I do think that coaching them, obviously anybody watch that game, that Nelly's going to be better. He's got to be better. And now he's got to step up in this league and show it. And he played well against Michigan. He played well against Miami. He's played well in NCAA tournament games against high majors. So he's done it. But he's really got to get dialed in here. He's got to It seems like everything's better now with his wrist. He seems to be healthy. He's got to go, and he's an important part of this for sure, definitely.
Coach, what have you seen from Ole Miss so far in the matchup Arkansas-Ole Miss?
Well, Matthew Morrell, number 11, he's been around forever, 6'4", 6'5" guard. I like Matthew. He's been kind of on the verge of being an all-conference player in our league for 4 years, and then he's just never been able to quite take that next step, but he can shoot it. He's a good athlete. He can drive a little bit. He's a pretty good defensive player. He's a guy we need to shut down. And then the transfer from Virginia Tech is a good player. And he's a guy that when they get going at home and their crowd gets into it a little bit, he's the one that's making the good pass, driving, kicking the ball out to somebody to hit a three. He's he's an aggressive player for them. He's an energy guy. And so Padula, so he's going to have to be good for them to win on the road at a place like Bud Walton. And so they rebound the ball pretty good. I look at them, and I hate to say this because they'll score 98 points a ball or something, but I think the strength of them is defense and playing physical and controlling the ball and setting the pace. That's Ole Miss, what they want. I don't think Ole Miss is the world's greatest scoring team right now. They got guys that can score. They got some capable players. They shoot it okay, but they're a team that you get after them on defense. You got to hope that you can hold them into this, into the 60s. And you're a Bud Walton. You're at home. Let's get some more fast break points. Let's generate some offense off some steals and long rebounds. Let's push it up. And don't forget, you're at Bud, which throughout the history of time has helped get to the free throw line and make some free throws. And we need to win the free throw battle. And we did not on Saturday. We didn't shoot enough. And then the ones we shot, we missed too many. And so this team's got to be super aggressive. Got to get to the free throw line.
Coach, I saw earlier today Lenardi had 13 SEC teams in, 2 on the bubble. Yeah. The only team not mentioned was South Carolina. And the good thing for Arkansas, by the way, LSU, Missouri, Texas, all of those teams that Arkansas plays twice weren't in the tournament. They were sitting there on the bubble, I guess, below Arkansas in the net. So maybe a little bit of a schedule advantage for Arkansas. This year in the SEC, how many wins does it take to win the SEC?
I always think 14-4. I've thought that since I coached in the league. I still think, and every once in a while there was Auburn go 16-2, Alabama go 16-2, Florida 17-1 one time. And there was a lot of people that, there was an 18-0 once. Those are very, very rare. And usually it's 14-4 wins the conference. This year, 13-5. You could definitely win the conference this year, but you'll have a chance at 13-5. I don't know if 12-6 will get it done, but you definitely need to go about 9-0 at home, and go even if you got to 5-4 on the road, you'd be 14-4. Go 9-0 and 5-4, and you'll be 14-4 overall. You'll be hosting the SEC championship trophy above your head, and you probably won't even be sharing it with anybody.
Last year, you and I, all of our guests, we talked about this. It was a little oddity in the schedule that I found, and we talked about it. On Saturdays last year in the SEC, home teams were 37-33. In midweek games, home teams were 36-11. It was a huge difference in midweek games and on Saturdays. Well, this past Saturday, it was the complete opposite. Home teams were 7-1. And it was a complete dump. Now, the matchup kind of indicated that all the home teams were big favorites and the ranked teams. So maybe it was just a little oddity in the schedule. But what do you think about this?
I remember us talking about it at length. And normally on Saturdays, that's the hardest time to go on the road. You'd rather play a midweek game on the road. Yeah. And last year was kind of a weird deal because there was a lot of people that won on Saturdays on the road. But I think part of it was because there were several 3 or 4 or 5 bottom teams that lost Saturday home games. We were one of them. Vanderbilt lost a bunch of Saturday home games. Missouri lost every Saturday home game. They went 0-18. So I think that the home teams are going to continue to play well in this league. That's not a big statement, but I do think there'll be some road teams that will get a win here and there, like Saturday. Vanderbilt winning at LSU. To me, LSU's a little bit down. And watching them, I think there won't. I don't think there'll be 13 to make it. I think 12 can make it. As I look at these teams, maybe 11, and maybe it drops to 11. But the fact that we won 89% of our non-conference games, that 16 teams only lost 23 ball games, that's going to pay dividends for this whole conference on Selection Sunday. At a minimum, you're going to get 11 in. And as Lenardi says, you're going to get 13. I don't think you will, because I think that a couple of them are going to go south.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really interested to watch, does Oklahoma win at home tonight against A&M? They better, because it turns quick. You go 0-2, it starts slipping on you kind of quick. And, you got Vanderbilt playing at home against Mississippi State. LSU's got to go to Missouri. Missouri will probably win that game. There are some people that look really good right now because of their record, but I don't know how good they're going to be in 2 weeks. And so it'll be interesting. I really don't think 13 will get in. I just don't. I think in this league, you start losing some games, you got a chance to really head south. What'll help them is these nets, and you're playing top 50 and top 60 teams every time you walk out there. So there's really no bad loss on paper, which is good for the coaches. That's good for everybody. But I just don't know if 13 will get in.
It is a gauntlet, and it's underway. It's as Arkansas can tell you, 3 ranked teams to start SEC play. The gauntlet has begun. Coach, thank you. We appreciate your time as always every Tuesday, and we will talk to you next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Matt Zimmerman with us on Out of Bounds. We will take a break. When we come back, you can get in here, 661-1037. We'll open it up. We're good for the rest of the show. We got What's Trending. Besides that, we'll take some phone calls, talk a little sports with you. Got the college football playoff coming up, NFL playoffs. I'm interested in this TGL, Tiger and Rory's League, gets started tonight. They've been doing live shots from that arena there in Florida all morning on ESPN, showing it off, trying to drive up the interest. Y'all going to watch it tonight? You going to check it out at some point?
It's getting great coverage.
Yeah.
That's the first key to it, is about it.
I'll hit the D3 Auto Sales text line when we come back. Got some stuff over here. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
It's Coach Kevin Kelly, Wednesdays on The Zone, presented by the Little Rock Athletic Club and Racquet Club. Join now and save 30% off the joining fees. LRAC.com.
This is Sports Center.
Last night in college basketball, Arkansas Pine Bluff fell to Alabama State 93-91. 6'8" guard Dr. Bradley had 35 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists on 12 of 17 from the field and 2 of 2 from 3. This was Bradley's second game of the season, as he was a late add via the transfer portal. In his first game, he had 30 points and 8 rebounds. UAPB will play again on Saturday as they host Texas Southern. Tonight in college basketball, number 1 Tennessee will take on 8th-ranked Florida in Gainesville at 6 on ESPN2. Georgia will host 6th-ranked Kentucky at 6 on the SEC Network. 2nd-ranked Auburn will face Texas in Austin at 8 on ESPN2. And 14th-ranked Mississippi State will take on Vanderbilt at 8 on ESPNU. Both teams come into the game with a 13-1 record. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
If you are looking for a safe and loving home for you or your loved one, visit Heartland Rehabilitation and Care Center. Just 15 minutes from Little Rock and Benton, our skilled nursing staff is dedicated to providing quality long-term care and short-term therapy. Visit heartlandrehabcenter.com. You can call Heartland home.
Sanders Ground Essentials presents Melinda Mayo when she joins Morning Mayhem each Thursday morning. Sanders Ground Essentials, where great lawns start today. On the web at sandersground.com. It's Melinda Mayo each Thursday with Morning Mayhem on 103.7 The Buzz.
The king of Arkansas sports talk, Randy Rainwater for Bet Saracen.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because our Kansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you.
all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner, so he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Get the new year started with a new car from Crane Hyundai of Little Rock. Randy will be there live this Friday with Drive Time Sports. Check out their inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles at CraneHyundaiLittleRock.com. This Friday starting at 4 at Crane Hyundai of Little Rock.
David Basil here for Jones & Son Diamond and Bridal Fine Jewelry. At Jones & Son, when you shop for an engagement ring, you get the benefit of shopping with the largest selection of rings in Central Arkansas. Jones & Son also carries the biggest brands in the business. At Jones & Son, shop their new collection of Jones & Son branded engagement rings. These Jones & Son rings are high quality at a fraction of the price. They're also fully customizable. They can modify any design to suit your needs. Jones & Son is located at 1121 Rodney Parham Road. And of course, they've been there for over 35 years. Same address, same phone number for over 3 decades. Finding the perfect piece of jewelry to match the occasion can be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be, and it's not at Jones & Son Diamond and Bridal Fine Jewelry. Find the right diamonds for that special occasion. Jones & Son invites you to come by and shop with them in person or online at jonesandson.com. Owners Darrow and Jacob Jones are the best father-son jewelry team in America. Tell them the guys at Morning Mayhem sent you. Jones & Son Diamond and Bridal Fine Jewelry. Jones & Son is located at 1121 Rodney Parham Road.
Out of Bounds, live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio.
Take the party wherever we go. Start in the morning, go all night. Waited all week, it's time to come alive. Biggest stage, brightest lights. Down in Tuscaloosa, yeah, it's roll tide.
Gwatney Chevrolet's getting it done in January. The new deals are out. You want to check out the new body style, the 2025 Chevrolet Traverse, Tahoe, or Equinox. They got it in stock and ready for delivery. You can get $10,000 off MSRP on select 2024 Tahoes and Suburban models. And remember, with approved credit, you'll make no payments until May of 2025. 5 months, no payments. Check out the 2024 Chevrolet Silverado Crew Cab. 4-wheel drive. That would be nice and handy the next couple of days. It's just $48,997, under $49,000 right now. Malibu. If you're in the market for a Malibu, they got a great deal right now on those. Under $25,000. Same with the Trailblazer. They got the 2025 Trailblazer for under $25,000. That's payments of $299 a month. It's all happening at Gwatney Chevrolet, 1301 TP White Drive in Jacksonville. You can visit them online at GwatneyChevrolet.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Wes Moore and Joe Franklin with you. Phone lines are open. You want to jump in here? Come on, 661-1037. SEC music playing. Got SEC games on TV tonight. See here. Wes, Joe, is Deshaun, quarterback for Cleveland, one of the biggest busts in NFL past history?
When you match it up with the performance and that contract, yes.
And the trade.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, giving up a lot of assets also.
They restructured his contract, right, over like the holidays. Did I see that?
Yeah, they did. They did. And then, of course, he's had a setback also.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he had a setback and may need a second surgery.
Oh, my. Ugh. That just keeps getting worse. Think they're in the market for a quarterback early in the draft?
Absolutely. Number 2 pick overall?
Yeah?
Yes.
Drew in Little Rock says, find out the real deal about the weather Thursday and Friday, will you? Well, Drew, I mean, I'm a pretty good source. I was in the morning meeting. Now, granted, that was at 10:15. It's 3:30, so it's 5 hours ago. But in the morning meeting, the meteorologist said the snow for central Arkansas had increased. The totals from last night we were talking up to 3 inches. Now we're talking 5, at least 5, maybe more. It's come, and then you go further, towards a little south of here, southwest. They could get even more, and then you keep going a little further. It's going to be a little. You're going to start out with some sleet, some ice, some frozen rain, but then it's going to transition over to snow.
They're almost guaranteeing at this point.
Yeah,
from what they're seeing, they are pretty confident.
Yeah, I mean they were pretty confident even like Sunday. And as the day and the new models keep getting updated, and the closer you get, we're getting snow. Now it's just how much snow. And like I said earlier, either fortunately or unfortunately, the way you look at it, it's going up. The totals are going up. TP in Little Rock says, Happy New Year, Wes and Joe. What I see with this basketball team is player development on your own time. Just think of Brazil or Nelly. If they had any type of dribble drive game or pull-up game, this would definitely help out Boogie and Wagner. It's not on Coach Cal. It's on the players. And free throw shooting, too. That's on the play. You got to spend some your own time in there, extra time shooting those free throws.
That's always a combination there. Coaching staff, they can see some problems. They can try to correct those, but as a player, as an individual, you want to take that on and try to add to your game always and become better. So you're always wanting to put in that extra work, not just the designated time that the team has. You want to do some things on your own to try to get better.
JW says, do you feel comfortable with the running backs that we got, with what little known we've seen of them to compete next year, or do you think they need to add another big home run type running back? I'd like to see another running back. And they are. They're going to add another one. I mean, right now it's basically the 3 guys that played in the bowl game, right? And then they got 1 out of the portal.
For now.
And 1 high school, Cameron Settles.
If they happen to get in spring ball, something could change there.
Oh, yeah. One of the guys go through spring ball and see they're running 4th team. No, I'm out of here. I'm going to go find somewhere where I can play and get some snaps next year. So, no, Jada, I'd like to see another home run type of running back like you're talking about. And I'm trying to think speed-wise. Maybe the guy out of the portal may be the fastest out of all of them. But that would be what I would like, a running back that could take it the distance. Who is Arkansas offered from the SEC, if that's available information, like an edge rusher, like Damon Wilson out of Georgia sitting in the portal would be nice. Yeah. Problem, JW, is it goes back to money. I mean, you think about it, the guys in these SEC schools, for the most part, probably making some good money, and they're looking to make bigger money. And that's why they end up going from an SEC school to another SEC school, like a Alabama, Georgia, Texas A&M, LSU, somebody with a ton of money to spend on a portal guy. And if you look at what Arkansas is doing, they're going at a level looking for a guy who's wanting to play in the SEC and make a little money. Probably wasn't making any money at his old school. Now, there are exceptions to be made. We saw it with Xavier Sorey last year going from Georgia to Arkansas. I don't know what he was making at Georgia, but, he was a 4-star recruit out of high school, so I'm sure he was getting something at Georgia in NIL, and Arkansas was able to attract him here. So it's possible, but whenever I see a big-time player from LSU or Georgia or Alabama, I'm like, I'm not getting my hopes up for him. He's not coming here. Arkansas, they're not going to give him $600,000 to come play football here. It's just not going to happen.
Well, that's the thing when you have to weigh in the factors and the player has to balance it out of accepting a certain amount of money and wanting to play.
Mm-hmm.
They're not getting the playing time at the previous school that they're wanting. They'll balance that out and make the best decision for them.
Yeah, it probably was a little bit with Xavier Sorey and his contacts on the staff from the state of Georgia, not getting to play the number of snaps he was wanting at Georgia, and came to Arkansas to get those snaps and to, get on the field so he can make some plays.
When you're taking players from what you consider lower level teams, now you have to become a great evaluator, but you have to be that as a recruiter regardless. So now you have to put in more work, and hopefully the details will pay off for you in evaluating some of this talent. And you see some players that you feel like can make that necessary adjustment from one level to the next and play against competition at the highest level.
Yeah, and they've been able to do that with some of the players. I mean, I look at our guy, Fernando Carmona, not playing at the SEC level, but they saw what they wanted to see out of him on tape and felt like it would translate here. I think it translated okay here. And there have been plenty of examples of guys that not playing at the SEC level but able to come here and succeed at an SEC level. Just got to find more of those guys. And sometimes, a guy that's transferring off an SEC team is transferring because he's not good enough to play at that SEC team. Yeah. 501 asked starting when with the snow. Probably for Little Rock, we're talking, they were. I'll say this. Last night they were thinking about 6 o'clock here for us in Little Rock, Central Arkansas area, the metro area. They have pushed that up and now think it's could. The models at least are indicating it could hit tomorrow afternoon around lunch, 1 o'clock, about when Joe and I are coming on. I will say our morning meteorologist said that's what the model says. She still believes it's going to be a little bit slower, but we won't know a better timing until we're a little closer, 24 hours out. That would mean for South Arkansas, like Texarkana, coming up, Hope, Prescott, it's going to be like a noon, that start tomorrow early. Before noon, and just it's almost coming. It's going from Dallas up the interstate to Little Rock. That's the path it's taking. It's pretty interesting to watch the models and the swath of snow coming up.
Right, and like we're not used to getting much snow, but those areas south, they're really not used to getting much, and so it's going to be completely different for them, especially if they get the amounts that we're thinking they're going to get.
I was talking with Kevin Kelly and Donna Terrell last night. The last time the Super Bowl was in Dallas, they were there covering it. And that's when the ice storm hit Dallas. And it was gridlock. It was a disaster. It was a mess. And they were telling me stories about it. And, it's not going to be an ice storm for Dallas, but it could be a huge snowstorm for Dallas. They don't have that kind of equipment to deal with that, to get the snow off the highways, the streets, the parking lots. They could have a mess. The College Football Playoff Committee put out it was just a random, not much information, but they put out a statement today saying we're monitoring the situation. We're on top of it. We're going to, keep everybody informed of, what happens. But yeah, they could be dealing with a huge mess in Dallas for the playoff game. Luckily, it's Friday and not Thursday, so that gives them a little time to deal with the situation. I don't know what the weather's going to be like Thursday after because it's going to start there earlier.
Yeah, it'll start
Hopefully
sooner.
it gets like 40 degrees and melts off some of the stuff for them, so there's some travel next year. I'm a Browns fan. I believe they spread it out to start moving away from Deshaun Watson so the hit each year isn't as big. I'd rather them trade back and gain picks. They're going to be bad again next year. Hopefully get Drew Aller from Penn State. He's from Ohio. I heard this morning on, I think it was the Dan Patrick Show, that a representative for Aller said that if he finds out he's top 3, he may change his mind and not go back to Penn State. He put out the statement saying he's coming back. Mm-hmm. Well, now there's talk that if he did come out, he would be one of the top quarterbacks.
Yeah, that could definitely make a difference for him because this is thought to be a quarterback class that's not going to be as deep as maybe last year and some previous years. And so, yeah, that could change his mind.
501 says, we'll never make the playoffs building Walmart teams. Bring in the big boys. Love to. And I know Coach Pittman would love to. And I was even told there were some plans that they have, and he's even worked with some of the big money guys trying to get them involved and trying to get a better grasp of the NIL situation or at least a bigger pot for the NIL situation. But, that's what it's going to take. And that's why we can't compete going for players that have never played in the SEC. Going after kids in lower-level teams have to pay to play, at least pay for a couple big-time players. I agree. But you can find some – if you're good enough in your scouting, you can find some players at other levels, other conferences, not SEC conferences, because all you have to do is watch an NFL game any given Sunday, any given time slot, and see guys that aren't in the SEC. They were playing college football somewhere else. If you can be good enough at spotting those guys – I mean, they did it with Ridgeway. He's still in the NFL. I mean, look at what they did with Andrew Armstrong, all SEC receiver. You got to find those guys.
You definitely,
and they're out there.
Yeah, they are. They are, and it's a risk. You're taking a risk on any time you bring in a transfer. You don't know if it's going to work out or not, but you take that risk, and sometimes it will work out for you.
Oh, a lot of people correct me. I guess I was saying tomorrow. I forgot today was Tuesday. Yes, this is a Thursday event here. Wednesday event for Dallas, starting Wednesday night, I think. But no, for us, yes, Thursday. This is a Thursday event, Thursday afternoon to Thursday night, then all night, Friday morning, probably ending Friday at noon, the last look.
Just kind of looking ahead, these days are running together a bit anyway. Because, like, here we sit on Tuesday and we're talking about something that's going to be later in the week, but it seems like we're getting there in a hurry because we're trying to get prepared for it.
Mm-hmm. And we also got something else big Thursday and Friday.
College football playoffs.
I know. Can't wait for it to get here soon enough. But, yes, guys, thank you for correcting me. No, it is not tomorrow. LC, no, it's not tomorrow. I'm sorry. I screwed up. It is not snowing tomorrow. It is Thursday. What else we got here? 35%. Oh, this is Dallas. The Dallas weather. 35 degrees on Thursday. Ugh. It needs to warm up higher than that. Start melting off some of that. And one of the problems that the meteorologist was telling me this morning, once you get the snow-packed ground, that insulates the atmosphere. And so all of a sudden the temperatures don't rise to the forecasted high. It acts like a blanket. And it keeps all the warmth underneath in the ground, not in the atmosphere, and so it doesn't get as warm as previously projected. What was the other picture they sent me of the Dallas forecast? 31 cloudy, snow in the evening, snow late. Yeah. I think I said it earlier. I got on Twitter last night and came across a Dallas meteorologist at one of the local stations, and he was showing some of the different models. And one of the models, and, you know, they all have their favorite model. One of the models was forecasting 12 inches for Dallas in the metro.
That's crazy to think about. It's probably been a long time since they've seen that much snow.
I mean, maybe some kind of record. I mean, we don't even get 6 inches that often. You know, we had that big storm, I don't know, what was that, about 5 years ago when it was like 10 inches?
It wasn't that long ago. Well, I guess it was.
2021. Yeah, about so 4 years ago. But, I mean, that's the biggest one since I've been here. In 2003. So I've been here over 20 years. That was as far as the depth of snow.
Mm-hmm. 2012, Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm, that was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were driving out of town that day, going south to the beach. And it was hairy driving out of town, but it was funny. Once we got, around that Hot Springs exit, it just got better and better and better, and then it was clean sailing.
So that snowstorm also had power outages.
Yeah, big time.
Attached to it, and talking for like a week and a half.
Yeah, we had to get friends to come to our house, empty out the refrigerator and freezer while we were gone because we didn't have any power.
So my daughter was 4 at the time, and she remembered that happening. So every year for Christmas, she asked me, "Dad, are lights going to be on?" Because she just, just put that together that the lights were out on Christmas.
That was a monster snow that year too. All right, we got to take a break. We'll wrap up the first hour when we come back. 661-1037 if you want to jump in here, talk Arkansas Ole Miss, SEC basketball tonight, college football playoffs. Come on, we're wide open. It's Out of Bounds.
Roger, did you know that Oaklawn Sports is the mobile app that lets you bet anywhere in Arkansas?
Anywhere, so I can bet the over when I'm in Dover.
Indeed you can.
I can take the underdog in Dogtown.
Absolutely.
You're telling me I can bet on the pigskin and Piggott?
Yep.
Hoops in Humnoke, baseball in Bauxite, long shots in Lavaca?
All of the above.
Anywhere, huh?
Anywhere.
Nice.
Easy to use and even easier to fund. Bet with confidence. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Accomplishing goals is hard. But when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead. Set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to BABBEL.com. That's Babbel.com.
Fun Tuesday edition of Morning Mayhem is in the books. Want to thank Pat Bradley, Chuck Gatlin, John Daly, and Rick Schaefer for joining the show. Excited for tomorrow. The guys will break down the Hog basketball game against Ole Miss. They'll have Walt Coleman, as well as Trey Reed, Craig O'Neill, and more coming up on a Hump Day edition of Morning Mayhem, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on 103.7 The Buzz.
What's better than getting something for free? Winning. Woohoo! And with the $5 bundle from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, you get the chance to do both. For $5, you get 3 tickets, a Powerball ticket with Power Play, a Mega Millions ticket, and a free Natural State Jackpot ticket. That's 3 ways to win. So ask for the $5 bundle today. Bundle is eligible with Quick Picks only. Offer ends February 28th. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Always still look at myself as a high-performing athlete, even at 40 years old. And so I want to go able to run fast and do things that I could 15 and 20 years ago. And it was getting to the point where the pain was starting to limit that.
Pain attacks people from all walks of life, not just former professional athletes like Bobby Carpenter. That's where QC Kinetics non-surgical treatment steps in.
And now that the pain is gone, I've been able to go and do the stuff that I love and run fast and run sprints and try to get back to where I was.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments use your body's own healing properties to deliver long-term relief without surgery.
Now, being able to go and work out and do the stuff that I want to do and challenge my body, it's made me a better person, a more pleasant person to be around.
Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440.
Arkansas Municipal Equipment in Poen is the proud sponsor of Nolan Richardson in Drive Time Sports. Founded over 10 years ago by Daniel and Vanessa Ellison, Arkansas Municipal Equipment specializes in refuse and recycle equipment. They lease and sell trucks, trash carts, and roll-off dumpsters. But they don't just sell it to you. You can get parts and service for all makes and models of refuse equipment. Their technicians travel the state to take care of you. Arkansas Municipal Equipment, service after the sale.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio. Gwatney Chevrolet. Driving, trust every mile.
Give me something I can feel. Light a cigarette just so I can breathe. Give me something 700 feet off the coast of green. Give me something.
Back at it. Westmore, Joe Franklin. Well, some NFL news for you. I hate to see this. Thought it might happen, but Antonio Pierce has been fired by the Raiders.
Yeah. We had a clip from him that has become irrelevant.
Ah.
Yeah, because he talked about that he's operating like and moving forward as he's going to be the head coach, and that it was outside noise and he hadn't heard anything from inside the building. And you just hate to see when coaches don't have a chance to kind of work some problems out. When you're talking about one full season from him now, he was interim coach for a number of games last season, but the quarterback situation is the first thing you can point to with them. And so now you have two coaches in Antonio Pierce, Gerard Mayo, one season, and they're done.
And then he had his best defensive player get hurt also. That was just a disastrous type year. And, I mean, look around at the seasons, disappointing seasons for some of these teams, and it has to do with quarterback play or injuries or poor quarterback play. And is that on him? Is that Antonio Pierce's problem that they didn't have a quarterback? They had two, which really they didn't even have one.
Mm-hmm.
And then both quarterbacks suffered injuries at different times throughout the season.
Yeah, and then something that may have happened, because a lot of times we see coaches and GMs, they're tied together, and GM gets fired, the coach is going to get fired, but we haven't heard anything about the GM. That doesn't mean that it couldn't happen, but it could have been presented to the GM. We'll give you a chance to work things out, and you need to make this right. You want to keep the current head coach, or you want to do something different. Now, if it becomes a situation like that and the GM realizes that his job is on the line and he's tied to a certain head coach, now he's going to look for a change and try to work that out himself.
Yeah, could buy the GM 2 years, hire a new coach, shows a little improvement.
Yeah, I don't know about 2 years, because they're looking to get him to get this thing right and get going in the right direction right away.
Raiders are picking 6. I think, is that right?
They're somewhere in that top 10.
Yeah.
It's a jumble there.
Yeah, I was hearing a discussion on if New England wouldn't have won and would have had that first pick in the NFL draft, that the Raiders would have been a great trade partner. They could have given up a lot to get that first pick, to get that quarterback. Now they don't have to worry about that. All right, hour number 3. What's trending? Coming up next, it's Out of Bounds.
Hello, this is Justin Acree. If foot or ankle pain is slowing you down, it's time to visit the experts at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. Doctors Martin, Matthews, and Parham provide both surgical and non-surgical treatment for foot and ankle issues. From common problems to more serious conditions, they're here to get you back on your feet, literally. Call Ortho at 501-686-TOSH to schedule your appointment today and get back to living pain-free. That's 501-686-8674. The doctor will see you now.
It's the best time of the year here in Arkansas. Playoffs, hunting season, basketball tip-offs, and so much more. You know it. The Crane team knows it. From pickup and delivery to service after the sale, every vehicle with the Crane team name is committed to your satisfaction. And with 17 locations in America's favorite brands, you can worry less about how you'll get there and just enjoy the moment. Visit us today or shop at over 3,500 new vehicles online at craneteam.com.
ABC Supply presents Shannon Lynn, our favorite musicologist, when he joins Morning Mayhem. ABC Supply in North Little Rock, let's get your job done together. For location and product information, find them online at abcsupply.com.
ESPN and The Buzz gives you the complete sports and entertainment package.
I love that game.
103.7 The Buzz, KABZ Little Rock. Buzz News with KARK's Claire Kreitz.
The Van is running a warming center in partnership with the City of Little Rock to make sure the Central Arkansas homeless community has a safe place to stay. It's open nightly from 6 p.m. until 9 a.m. for men and women 18 years and older. Some other warming centers include the Little Rock Compassion Center on West Roosevelt Road. It'll be open 24/7 when the temps are below 49 degrees. The City of North Little Rock's Community Center on North Willow Street will remain open every night starting at 6 p.m. through Friday. First Presbyterian Church in Jacksonville will also stay open through Friday from 6 p.m. until 8 in the morning. The Don Jones Sports Center in Conway is open 24/7. If you're wanting to stay overnight, you'll have to check in before 9 p.m. In Hot Springs, the Resource Center on Hobson Avenue opens every day at 3 p.m. through Sunday. This is Claire Kreitz for the Buzz Radio Network.
Centennial Bank presents Dan Hampton when he joins Morning Mayhem each week this football season. Centennial Bank, banking with you in mind. Member FDIC.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with KARK's Juliana Cullen.
Plenty of sunshine for your Tuesday, but cold temperatures will be sticking around as we move towards the rest of the day. I'd say in the mid to upper 30s, but feels like temperatures will likely remain in the lower 30s. Clear skies overnight tonight. It's going to be another cold and dry day for your Wednesday, and once again, highs only in the mid 30s. This was meteorologist Juliana Cullen with the Arkansas Storm Team for the Buzz Radio Network.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort presents Oaklawn Race Day with Justin Akery and David Wanjanati every Saturday morning at 11. Oaklawn Race Day is your inside track to America's hottest thoroughbred action and Arkansas' source for racing news and analysis. Oaklawn Race Day, presented by Oaklawn, Arkansas's only racing casino resort.
Your boating experience begins this weekend at the 43rd Annual Arkansas Marine Expo, Arkansas's premier boat show at the State House Convention Center in Little Rock. All dealers will be on hand selling their new 2025 boats at special discount show prices. Win a new $10,000 Sea-Doo Spark, courtesy of BRP and Bradford Marine and ATV. $10 for adults, children 12 and under, free. Don't miss Arkansas's premier boat show this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the State House Convention Center in Little Rock, another Denton and Griffey attraction.
Gathering Spaces is showing up and showing off. This is Pat Bradley for Whit Davis Loma Plus. You want paint that stands the test of time and color that stays true. Premium, high-hiding, and scrubbable Valspar Medallion paint goes on as easily as it cleans up to give your home's high-traffic areas the beautiful, lasting color they deserve. You can find Valspar paint at Whit Davis in Jacksonville, Sherwood, and Greenbrier. One coat coverage, maximum durability. Valspar paint.
Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Everyone's talking about the breakthrough of weight loss drugs, but too few can access or afford them. Hers is changing that. At forhers.com/start, you can access doctor-trusted weight loss plans tailored to you, like GLP-1 weekly injections with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy, or oral medications at a fraction of the price. That's right. You'll save up to 91% per month on compounded semaglutide based on pricing through Hers. The same active ingredient as the name brand drug at 91% less. There's no hidden fees and no membership fees. Just one low, transparent price. And the process is 100% online. If prescribed, your personalized plan ships free directly to your door. Get started at forhers.com/start to access affordable doctor-trusted weight loss plans that put you first. That's forhers.com/start. forhers.com/start.
This is Chris Roberts with Southern Bank. We want to thank those who have decided to trust us with their banking relationship. Our customers recognize that true community-style banking is more than words. It's local decisions and friendly staff you know by name. Whether it's personal checking or lending on the most complex commercial project, Southern Bank can handle your banking needs with a personal touch. So what's holding you back? To start your banking relationship, visit one of our friendly branches, call us at 501-424-0900, or visit online at bankwithsouthern.com. Member FDIC.
Arkansas is known for its beauty. Rolling hills, scenic fields and valleys, and beautiful rivers run through our state. We want to keep Arkansas beautiful, but we need your help. Do your part by not littering and by keeping your community clean. Register for a local cleanup or become a litter grabber to fight litter at your own pace. Your community needs you. Join us in keeping Arkansas beautiful. Visit keeparkansasbeautiful.com to learn more. This message brought to you by this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and the Keep Arkansas Beautiful Commission.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text Kettle to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text KETTLE to 321-321. That's Kettle to 321-321.
Is Out of Bounds with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz. What's Trending in Sports is brought to you by Arkansas's own West Rock Coffee. Join West Rock Coffee, the Razorbacks, and their 1.5 million farmers around the globe. It's fall, so now it's time for your team to stock up on coffee, tea, and water delivered directly to your business. Contact them at westrockcoffee.com or 833-886-JAVA today.
Go to the NFL. Patriots, of course, looking for a new head coach. Their one-year experiment didn't work out. Seen a little criticism, heard a little criticism about that quick departure. Robert Kraft says it's his fault.
This whole situation is on me. I feel terrible for Gerard because I put him in an untenable situation. I know that he has all the tools as a head coach to be successful in this league. He just needed more time before taking the job. In the end, I'm a fan of this team first, and now I have to go out and find a coach who can get us back to the playoffs and hopefully championships.
Feel like he already has his guy in mind.
It seems like it. It seems like Mike Vrabel is the guy that they're targeting, but they're going to interview some more prospective coaches out there. But the turnaround and how they made the decision right after the game, it would seem as they do have someone targeted. Mm-hmm. Now, Dan Orlovsky about a week ago said on Pat McAfee when they were discussing some of these coaches that could have been in conversations with several teams, and they mentioned Mike Vrabel, and Dan Orlovsky at the time said, I think he's spoken for. And then they're like, oh, so what do you know? And he's like, I think he's spoken for. So he wouldn't go into details, and they're trying to pull it out of him. Mm-hmm. And they were even talking the college route because they were thinking about Belichick and what's happened there, and they were connecting him to Ohio State. So that's the direction they were going in. But now full circle, and Dan Orlovsky was on today. I didn't hear exactly if they got back into it or if they asked him about Mike Vrabel, but at the time he acted like he knew something. Mm-hmm. So if we see this happen, then that's what it was all along.
Have you ever seen a coach fired 1 hour after the NFL season like that?
Yeah. I mean, I can't think specifically, but there have been some quick ones where it happened right after, and they didn't wait until the
Monday.
Yeah.
Here's Bill Cowher, and Bill Belichick talking about the Mayo decision.
Some situations you understand. I've always believed that giving a coach 3 years and see where you're trending is really the appropriate thing to do, in my opinion. You know, what happened to Gerard after 1 year? I mean, I don't know what took place behind the building, but certainly there was a lack of communication. And certainly Gerard had some things he probably had to learn from. You know, and sometimes a first-year head coach says things he probably regrets he says, did things regrets he probably said. It's called learning experience, and you hopefully you can grow from it and learn from it, but also have the support of the people that are behind you.
You need that shared vision between ownership and the coaching and scouting. And that's when you can be successful. And I know, Bill, you had that at Pittsburgh, and I had that up until about the last 4 years in New England. And when you have that shared vision everybody kind of pulling in the same direction, you have a chance and you can get a lot done. And even if you don't win it all, you're still really competitive, and we've both been in that situation. But when you're going in different directions, then that makes it really hard to keep up with everybody else. So I think you look at the organizations and you can kind of see the ones that are and the ones that aren't.
Just a bit of a subtle shot at the Patriots there. I had that up until about the last 4 years. And Gerard Mayo was somebody that played for Bill Belichick Patriots, and he was somebody that he handpicked to succeed him. So, of course, he's feeling a certain way about that.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to prepare him, get him ready. I'm sure he feels, in a way, a little bit let down. But, this is our agreement. This is what we're working towards, and you only let it happen for a year?
Right. And Gerard Mayo, he'll resurface NFL-wise because he's a good defensive mind.
Yeah.
But also, with the connection with Bill Belichick, he's looking to fill out a staff there for UNC.
Yeah.
So wouldn't be surprised if he happened to get on that staff there.
He'll land on his feet, no doubt about it. What's going on in Jacksonville?
Well, it was so Shad Khan, they made a coaching change here where Doug Peterson they let him go, but they kept GM Trent Baalke. So they're on a conference call and they're talking about coaches, and he's asked about, well, what if a different coach comes in here and he wants another GM? What do you do? And Trent Baalke, GM, is sitting, they're on a video call.
Right.
And he's on the video call also. Listen to Shad Khan's response.
So I'd actually like to go back to John's first question, Shad, back to you. I know you noted that if this head coaching candidate was to say, hey, I think the medical needs to be reevaluated, the health and wellness, if they were to say, I would like to reevaluate the front office and the general manager, what would your response be?
My response would be, how would you improve it? And then if it is credible, you want to do it, okay?
Now, this is with the GM on the same video call with him.
What was the GM doing?
I mean, his face, he tried his best not to give any kind of expression, but, I mean, at the same time, he had to be thinking, are we serious here? Like, I'm sitting right here.
Hello? I'm in the room. I'm on this Zoom call. Let's go to my guy, Jerry Jones. What's he going to do with Mike McCarthy?
Jerry, what was your message to Mike McCarthy, and what does he mean to you?
Well, I spoke to the whole team, and Mike was in the room with all the coaches and the whole team. And, of course, Mike's one of the best coaches that I think there is. He was made the coach here because I thought that, and he's done absolutely nothing to diminish my opinion of him as a coach. And I am really impressed with the way the players identify, look, are with him. They're inside with him. And that's important. That's important because he's had some times when each one of those players individually as well as a team have not been fun times. And so he's been there in his way for them on an individual basis. He's been there in his way for them on a team basis. And at the end of the day, you know that these are people. All I've got to do is see Bill Bates out here today, and years flash through my mind about days with Bill. A glass of tea or anything like that. There's lots of things that go into being together on trying to win games and win a championship.
Clips can be altered. That one could massively be altered where you just cut it off where Jerry says he's done absolutely nothing. And if you cut it off there, a lot of people would say, yeah, you're right. Yep. He's done absolutely nothing. But he said he's done absolutely nothing to change his mind in a sense of feeling like he is a good coach and he can get the job done.
I don't know what
he's like, yeah, he's a good coach, but we just don't want him. That's essentially what he probably could be thinking.
I don't know if Jerry knows, honestly, right now.
Well, what I find interesting is we haven't seen as many head coaching firings now. It's getting to that point because with Antonio Pierce now, we saw a lot more in season than we've seen at the end of the season. We're seeing a lot more changes with coordinators. That's more of a trend where they're keeping coaches, head coaches, but the coordinators. So Cowboys have a trend of letting their coaches' contracts run its course and not dealing with extensions. They're the only team I can think of that actually happens with on a regular basis, because it just happened with Jason Garrett. It's happening now with Mike McCarthy if you decide not to give him a new contract and bring him back. Now, I'll tell you, Steelers, they have that trend with assistant coaches where they don't fire assistant coaches. They let their contracts expire. And there's a lot of times when it looks like you should make some changes with coordinators, assistant coaches, and they just let it play out. So I find that interesting that Cowboys, the last two head coaches, they've let them coach the last year of their contract. And most teams don't do that.
I think he feels like it's such a marquee job that if it all works out well and we want you, we'll just re-sign you, and you're not going anywhere.
He was up against it, though, to the point, and you can say Jason Garrett may have been up against it to a certain point also, but Mike McCarthy was essentially up against it where it was like, and we don't know what's going to happen, but just from the outside, if he's not retained, then it almost seems like going into the season, he had to get to an NFC championship game, if not a Super Bowl, and win it to retain his job and move forward.
He got a wild card with Dak's injury. It was the excuse for every coach. When you're dealt a blow like that, you have an excuse.
Sometimes. It is an excuse, but does the front office always see it that way? They don't.
Right. All right, more from the NFL. Zay Flowers injured in the Baltimore game. Here's John Harbaugh on the Zay Flowers injury.
It's not a season-ending injury, so it's just going to be day-to-day, try to do everything he can do to get back as soon as he can, and we'll see where that takes us.
Yeah, I saw a tweet this morning with a little bit of an update saying that there is a chance he plays this week.
I don't think he does. And that hampers their offense a bit because he's their most explosive, their best receiver.
Yeah.
And it's not as significant, and Coach Harbaugh said it there, where it's not season ending. So they move forward. He could come back at some point. I really don't see him playing this week.
They said, I think it was Schefter. I can't remember who it was this morning, but they said that there was a chance he plays this week, but they feel really good if they win this week that he would be able to play the following week.
And what they don't want to do at this point is rule him out because you do still have a few days where you're preparing, but they play Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. One less day of preparing, or one less day to heal up. Let's go down to Miami. Tyreek Hill. We discussed it a little bit and his unhappiness with the Dolphins. Here's Adam Schefter.
The year started with Tyreek Hill news, and it's ending with Tyreek Hill news because that's a wild post-game commentary to offer at the end of the season. Like, he can say whatever he wants, but it feels like this has been building and going on for quite some time. It just feels like he's hinted at this and wanting to be traded, and there's been whispers about wanting to be traded. And I also think we've got a situation where, yesterday he was hurt and didn't play. Like, there's more to this, and clearly there are enough issues there yesterday that tell you that I think their future together is murky, and we'll see how each side decides to handle it going forward.
It's murky, but, I mean, he just signed that extension. They trade him. That's dead money on their cap space. Their hands are kind of tied with this situation.
Yeah, also Tyreek Hill, it's after a game, after what's been a tough season, up and down, thinking you have a chance for getting into playoffs. Tua's been out for quite a bit. And as Tyreek Hill mentioned in his comments, this is the first time he hasn't played in the postseason in his entire career. You're different from a lot of players out there. There are players that never play postseason or only play a couple of times. So he's spoiled to an extent, but also you can understand where he's coming from, where he's later in his career and he's trying to make certain demands, and he's saying at this point he needs to do what's best for him and his family. Well, as Adam Schefter mentioned there, we came into the season with him wanting a contract. Well, it may have been last season, but he wanted a contract extension. He got it, and at the time he said the same thing. I need to do what's best for me and my family. That's how he's feeling at this point in his career.
He got paid. Now he may be tied and stuck there. What's he going to do? What's best for his family? Sit out and not get paid?
Nah, he's not going to do that.
Let's go to the NBA real quick. Bulls, Spurs last night.
It's White against Wembanyama. The drive, the scoop! Sliding Gwatney. Here's Levine against Paul. The drive, the kick. Kobe White drives it. Oh, dunk it! Dunk it, Kobe White! Get up or get out the way! He said, "Meet me at the rim." Where you at with me? I didn't see you.
I had told myself the next time I go, I was going to try to dunk it. And then that was my opportunity to dunk it. I kind of got it quick. I think if he would have came over just 1 second earlier, he probably would have blocked it. So I try to go quick, and I try to just take off. And, I closed my eyes, and it worked out.
Can you repeat that face that you showed?
Nah, that's an emotional moment. That ain't even really me. I just kind of got lost in the crowd and the fans, so that ain't even really who I am for real.
Yeah, those last two highlights right directly with Wembanyama, where he gets the layup over him, then he gets the dunk over him, and it led to them winning the game because they took the lead with the first highlight. The second one, they extended the lead, and so Kobe White had him a night. Bulls get the win.
I just watched the video, and he described it perfectly. He just quick jumped him. He got there faster than Wemby could, and then there's a still photo, and Wemby's out of position, just reaching across, basically trying to block it, and he's to the side of him. He's not, even though he's a lot taller than him and can reach a lot higher, he can't because he's out of position, and he just beat him to the basket, got there quick, and bam, just punched it in real quick.
And those are some of the routine plays, what Wembanyama makes look routine, that people take for granted because he is so long and versatile, athletic. He's made a number of plays like that, but he's not going to make all those plays.
Let's go 49er John. What's up, man?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Good. I thought about you this morning. They were having a discussion on Dan Patrick about the teams that did not make the playoffs, who's most likely to make it next year. And I was like, well, to me, it's an obvious choice. I would think it's the 49ers or the Cowboys because if they've got the pieces in place, they just got to get healthy. But they weren't picking, the Falcons. And I'm like, the Falcons? But their rationale was it's such a weak division
right,
that, with some improvement and maybe with the quarterback situation year two, that they'll be able to win that South.
Well, I hope you weren't thinking about me when you was thinking about the Cowboys, but okay, but hopefully it was just the 49ers. But to answer your question, injuries, brother, injuries. And then what's the guy that comes on at 3 o'clock yesterday? What's his name?
Joe Klein?
Joe Klein, yeah, he brought up the fact that the 49ers signed Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, that's
have a quarterback.
Hey, that's what's out there now. It is ridiculous talk. No, it's out there. It's ridiculous talk, but the talk is out there, and it could be media pushing a certain narrative.
It is.
And the fact that Aaron Rodgers hasn't said one way or another if he wants to play, and most likely if he does want to play, he doesn't return to Jets. So now other teams are taking a look at him. His agents will reach out to 49ers. They definitely will do that.
Let me help you out on something, since I am the 49er insider on this show. Only way Aaron Rodgers comes to San Fran if he wants to bag up my guy. He's not coming to start. We're in the process of getting ready to pay this guy. Why the hell would we bring Aaron Rodgers in there? To piss him off or something?
That's the argument.
We have our quarterback. It's not happening, guys.
That's the argument for the other side. Do they want to pay Brock Purdy, or do they want to take Aaron Rodgers?
We're going to pay Brock Purdy. We don't want Aaron Rodgers unless he want to come as a bag up, And I'm just telling y'all. And then as far as Cleveland, hey, guys, everybody can't make the Hall of Fame. Get your money, Deshaun Watson. Get your money. You haven't done anything wrong. You was found. You wasn't. Everybody's still holding that grudge on him for the 40 women, which he was acquitted on all charges. Get your money. Same thing as when D-Mac went to the Raiders. I said, in my mind, Buff, but he's finna get paid. He's finna get paid. Everybody ain't no Tom Brady. It's the money game, guys. So that's what I'm worried about. And then the snow. I hope it snows. God knows. I hope we don't lose power, because growing up, I was without power a few times, but my parents did the best they can. But I don't stay nowhere where there's no power at. And I hope the mayor and
you may not have a choice.
The governor, hopefully the mayor and the governor is listening and get onto these hotels about price gouging, because that's what they do. Every time it snows, they jack the prices up. Hopefully they get onto it. They get on to everything else. All these new laws are coming into effect. Let's get this law, price gouge, and all that stuff. And hey, Wes.
Hey.
I got money saying Dallas gonna keep Mike McCarthy.
Yeah,
if they were gonna fire him, they would fire him on that day.
No, they didn't do it with Jason Garrett. No. They didn't do it with him.
And Wes, no team has ever won the Super Bowl losing 4 straight going into the playoffs. Wes, that was for you, Wes. Pass that on to somebody you know, Wes. Y'all have a good day.
Thanks, man. No team has ever won Super Bowl 3 straight times either, right?
No. Nope, never happened.
That's why I can't pick the Chiefs.
They have an easier path. They've been 1 seeds before, but one less game.
Who has a better chance of beating them, Buffalo or Baltimore?
Between the two of them?
Yeah.
I guess Buffalo. I guess Bills.
Yeah, I go back and forth. I was thinking about that today because, Buffalo's already beaten them this year.
Exactly.
And they have that in their, in their back of their mind. But something about Baltimore and the way they screwed it up last year. I just wonder if that's just something that could be an intangible. And now with King Henry there, they're not going to abandon the run like they did last year in the championship game.
Here's the thing about it, though. Those two teams win their first games, they're going to match up against each other.
Yeah.
Bills and Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as if they can play, they can see either one or see both of them.
Right.
It would have to
be one.
Yeah, just the one. Just the winner of that game.
It'd be a great championship game or a great semifinal game, divisional round game, if that's what happens, if the favorites win their games, the Bills and Ravens. That would be a lot of fun. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we're open. You want to jump in here? Come on, 661-1037. We'll take a phone call, talk some more NFL, talk college football playoffs. Heck, we can talk Razorbacks Ole Miss, even though it's tomorrow night. Got some good SEC games tonight. Talk a little golf. You going to watch the golf tonight? Phone lines are open. Come on, 661-1037. It's Out of Bounds.
This is Trey Schapp. Tune in each Friday morning at 5:30 right here on The Buzz as I bring you From the Shortgrass, presented by UAMS Health, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine. If you like to hear interesting stories about the game of golf, this is for you. You can also find it wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Sports Center.
Last night in college basketball, Arkansas Pine Bluff fell to Alabama State 93-91. 6'8 guard Dr. Bradley had 35 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists on 12 of 17 from the field and 2 of 2 from 3. This was Bradley's second game of the season as he was a late add via the transfer portal. In his first game, he had 30 points and 8 rebounds. UAPB will play again on Saturday as they host Texas Southern. Tonight in college basketball, number 1 Tennessee will take on 8th-ranked Florida in Gainesville at 6 on ESPN2. Georgia will host 6th-ranked Kentucky at 6 on the SEC Network. 2nd-ranked Auburn will face Texas in Austin at 8 on ESPN2. And 14th-ranked Mississippi State will take on Vanderbilt at 8 on ESPNU. Both teams come into the game with a 13-1 record. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
whatever you're doing this weekend. If it doesn't involve fast horses, daily doubles, high fives, and corned beef sandwiches, you may be doing it wrong. Every weekend through May 3rd, Oaklawn has live thoroughbred racing. Whether your Oaklawn is cheering from the home stretch, dining in the Bugler restaurant, or raising a glass at the First Turn bar, your race day is whatever you want it to be. Make reservations today at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Well, the new year is here, and you've always said, you know what, I really wish I could have just pain-free from my knees, my back, maybe even my shoulder. But you just never have done anything because you say it's too expensive. I don't want to go through surgery. I don't want to be out of work. Well, what if I told you there's a new option? Hey, everybody, it's RJ Hawk. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. They can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments with no steroids, no drugs, and no surgery. Folks, this is the future of medicine using an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis. People all over Central Arkansas are using QC Kinetics to heal their joint pain. Make 2025 the year that you live pain-free and get your life back. Do you want to learn more? Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. The consultation's free. Call QC Kinetics today.
For over 30 years, Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse has been Arkansas's truck accessory headquarters and the only stop for all your truck parts and accessories. If it goes on a truck, Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse has got it. And that includes upgrading your truck with Vortex spray liners. Tough, durable, proudly made in the USA. Their spray liners can protect your truck for years to come. Call Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse at 501-568-0040 to schedule your spray. Or stop by 65th and University.
Serious injuries happen every day.
If it happens to you, don't wait. Dial 8.
Dial 8 for Rainwater, Holton, Sexton.
888-8888.
Anywhere in the state, dial 8.
We've got you covered, Arkansas.
Responsible attorneys Michael Rainwater and Bob Sexton.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
This is Pat Bradley, and I'll be on Morning Mayhem Weekly, presented by Alcoa Community Federal Credit Union in their end-of-year auto loan special. Rates as low as 2.025%. 84 months financing and no payments for 90 days. Offer ends January 31st.
Out of Bounds, live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio.
It's happy hour at Twin Peaks, 2 to 7. Later happy hour, 10 to close. They have apps starting as low as $2. They have daily and weekly food and drink specials. And you can get a lunch combo starting as low as $7.99. It's cold outside, but Twin Peaks has a great outside area with a fire pit you can sit around and heaters. And it's the best place in town that you can watch any of the sporting events. College football playoffs coming up, NFL playoffs. And for the big game that's coming up soon, first 100 people to show up for that, you get a free square for a chance to win a Twin Peaks gift card at the end of every quarter. UFC 311, January 18th. It's going to be big with no cover charge. And then MLK Day, January 20th. Out of Bounds is going to be there. It's National Cheese Lovers Day. There's going to be plenty of NBA games, and it'll be the perfect place to watch it all happen. It's Twin Peaks, Eats, Drinks, Scenic Views.
Westmore, Joe Franklin with you. I was just looking through my emails. I got an email in the last 5 minutes for a cordless snowblower for $199.
Sounds like a winner.
Hey, are they listening to me? There's a lawsuit right now where they were listening and sending you stuff from your conversation on your iPhone.
Absolutely. Now, can't you use a leaf blower? Can't that be used?
Probably. But I would think the cordless snowblower blows hot air, right? And helps. Maybe, I don't know. I would never even thought I would need a cordless snowblower, but apparently I might. Also, some gloves for UGG gloves for $49. Snow melting mat.
Did you say UGG?
UGG gloves. See, I'm not cool. I'm not trendy like that. My girls wear Uggs, not me. UGG gloves for $49. Snow melting mat for $85. Who would have thought? Need a snow melting mat around here. Blanket warmer for $69. All these deals just sent to me. Thanks. I'll be all right.
Yeah, hey, if you're gonna be sitting at home whenever snow is on the ground, there you go.
I'm not going outside.
They're giving you some options. Hey, you can do some shopping while you're sitting at home.
You know what I'm gonna be doing? Watching the college football playoffs.
It's gonna be exciting.
I will probably have to go into work on Fox Thursday night. I'm guessing. Looks like I was talking to Trey Shapp, and Trey said the opponents that the Little Rock Trojans are playing Thursday are already here. So they're here. They're going to play Thursday. Now, Saturday's game, that could be up in the air. But anyway, I'm guessing I'll have to work Fox Thursday night. But I bet Friday, with all the snow coverage, they're not going to need me. Do the radio show, go home, watch college football playoff in my dry January.
Hey, you hope that they don't need you.
I hope they don't. Let's go to Heath and Cabot. What's up, Heath?
Hey, good afternoon, guys.
Hey, Heath.
Wes, you don't, man. I'll give you a cordless snowblower, man. I got one hanging up in the garage. I never use it.
Really? How often you use that thing?
I think I used it the week we got snowed in last year. Maybe it was, and of course the battery was dead. I had to charge it, but rarely. Yeah. So maybe in the next couple days, but other than that, it's just to catch all with cobwebs. So, but interesting looking paperweight. But I got a question for you guys. Jim talked this morning in the gym. Very interesting conversation. Do either of you think that maybe Army would have given Penn State a better game than say SMU or Boise State? Now, I know the service academy teams don't usually have top-notch skilled position players, but they have been better as of late. But those guys, they play physical football, like real physical football. So just a huge discussion, just kind of wondering what your thoughts might be on that. That's all I got, gentlemen. Hey, if you get out and it starts snowing, be safe, stay warm, and always be active.
Thanks, Heath.
When it comes to Army and Navy, all the image that's there is – both of them, when they played Notre Dame, and Notre Dame looked so much better than both of those. So to say that they would have given Penn State a better game, and it's it's different with different opponents. Yeah, the possibilities are there, but don't think so.
Penn State's defense is really good too, and they're good at stopping the run. I think they'd had some issues. You can't be and look, both teams were better this year because they weren't so one-dimensional, but they were still one-dimensional, just not as one-dimensional.
Yeah, quarterback play was good for them. As far as passing the ball, it seemed like they did it. They were willing to do it a little more and not just run the ball, and then try to catch somebody by surprise with a pass and you haven't thrown a pass in so many series. They were more willing to pass the ball this year.
Yeah, it was more of a gimmick in years past. This year, they could actually throw it. But they were still very run-heavy. I don't think that would have worked against Penn State. Over on the D3 Auto Sales text line, Dakota says, I'm officially done with Christian Watson. Time to get a certified number one option at wide receiver for the Pack. Keep us updated on Jalen Hurts and concussion protocol this week, please. Okay. Dakota?
Yeah, Christian Watson, it's a terrible injury to have at the end of the season. He's been really inconsistent, so can see where you're thinking there, Dakota. As far as Jalen Hurts, they practice tomorrow, and that's when you would expect that there'll be some news with concussion protocol and that he'll pass everything. But up until this point, there hasn't been a need for it.
We were talking about head coaches getting fired as soon as 1 hour after the game. Lane Kiffin was fired on the tarmac when the plane landed at USC. Not NFL, but still abrupt firing. Thank you, 501.
Now, was that the last game of the season, or was
that
during? That was during the season. That's what makes it different.
Yeah. Oh, he also said Bielema was fired on the field.
Yeah. Now, yes, that was quick. but that's the difference too. We're talking college and NFL.
501 said, and that was in. There's still one more game to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because then they played, and Lunny was the interim coach for the Missouri game here in Little Rock.
Little Rock.
Yeah. 501 says that's fake news. Aaron Rodgers is not coming to the Bay. It's still a storyline.
Yeah,
you know, some of these national guys.
It is, and they like to run with things like that.
Jason in Houston says, Bills beat the Chiefs in the regular season. Chiefs beat the Bills in the postseason. We aren't worried. He also said, the snow is a great insulator, oddly enough. Stoked to check out the new TGL tonight. Who's that, 501? I agree. I am too. Just from what I've seen, the promotion videos, and then this afternoon on ESPN, they've been taking some live hits and had some golfers out there hitting balls and playing some holes. It looks entertaining, and it's catching my eye. So I want to see what it's all about. And then once you get the crowd involved, being in an arena and be able to hear their reaction, see what it's like. I hope they have fun with it, like, playing some music or something, and the crowd's roaring, and almost like the TPC there in Phoenix on the 17th hole, the par 3, kind of get a little rowdy.
Anybody that's going to watch SportsCenter, you're not going to be able to get away from it because they're going to promote it going into it, and then SVP is covering it, so he will have plenty on SVP tonight to talk about it and kind of recap it.
7 o'clock tonight on ESPN if you want to check it out. JW says Penn State and Notre Dame seem to be the identical teams playing the same way, same tough defense, tough matchup. I agree. I think it's a really good matchup. Maybe the difference are the two quarterbacks, different style of quarterbacks. All are the better passer out of the two. I think that's obvious. But then Riley Leonard, man, he's just got that it factor for a quarterback that you want, a gamer. It's 3rd and 9. He finds a way to get 10, scrambling around, just making plays with his feet. And I like him. I like what I've seen out of him playing the quarterback position. Maybe not the best quarterback throwing the ball, capable. But, if I'm on a pocket passer or a guy that, it's 3rd and 13 and he's got to deliver a dime, I'll go with Aller. But 3rd and 13, I wouldn't put it past Riley to scramble around, make a play.
Well, he understands situations. When the defense is running down the field and they have their back turned to him, that's when he's going to take off. He understands that he can't use his legs in those situations, and that's what makes him dangerous.
That's a fun game. Let me pull up Bet Saracen, see what the line is doing on Bet Saracen, because I've seen it nationally in some places going down where more money is coming in on Penn State. 1.5. It was 2 yesterday, I believe, so it's 1.5 right now on Notre Dame. Notre Dame's still favored, but that line's coming down. So got some money coming in on Penn State. Ohio still a 6-point favorite over Texas on Bet Saracen. That over-under's 53.5, and as you would expect, the over-under's a lot lower for Notre Dame and Penn State. It's right now at 45, so you're looking at 6 touchdowns and a field goal to get to 45. Ohio State's offense has been awesome. I mean, it's spectacular. So much fun to watch. I just have faith in that Texas defense. I think they're going to not stop them, but slow them down to where maybe they can keep them in the 20s, and I think Texas can score. I've seen them score some points. Their offense, at times their offense looks exciting. They do some of these quick screens, wide receiver screens, bubble plays, reverses. They do these different things, and with all that eye candy, and it creates some mistakes, alignment mistakes on defense, and I think Texas can exploit Ohio State and score some points.
Yeah, they can definitely do that. Tight end Helm, he's dangerous, and then they have a number of receivers that can give you something in the pass game and return game.
I think both games will be fun. Let's take a couple calls. Dr. J, what's going on?
What's happening, fellas? Happy New Year to you guys. How y'all doing?
New Year, Dr. J.
Hey, it's been a while since I called in, but I'll tell you what, man, I was driving, and, I heard the tail end of some poor, misguided San Francisco 49ers fan, and I just kind of wanted to make a statement in response to that gentleman's statement, if I can call him a gentleman.
Yeah, irrelevant person. That's who he is. But, yeah, go ahead.
So he was referencing a team that was going into the playoffs with 4 straight losses, and let's just say that team is indeed going into the playoffs. And that same team back in 2006 was the first 6th seed to ever not only make it to the Super Bowl but win the Super Bowl. Okay, so stats are just that. Stats are stats. And I mean, however improbable it may be, it is not impossible. But my friend, you first have to make the playoffs if you want to make some noise. That's all I want to say to that gentleman whose name shall be remain silent.
Dr. J, good call.
Hey, we appreciate it, Dr. J.
Yes, sir. Y'all take care.
I seem to remember a couple months ago when that team was struggling, and he also said, just got to get in the playoffs. Once you're in, anybody can win.
Yeah, he changes like the
The
weather
wind.
out there, the wind, the weather, whatever you want to say. So that's why, what he says is irrelevant.
You can't win if you're not in.
Because it always changes too. With whatever the situation is, it changes.
Fits his narrative. Rebecca, what's up?
Good afternoon.
Hey,
First
Rebecca.
of all, Wes, I know it's never been done before, but guess what? There is a first time for everything. So don't discount my team. Yes, Buffalo has beat us. They always beat us in the regular season, but guess when we beat them? When it counts most.
That's
in the
right.
postseason. Just like, and we've already beat Baltimore. But like you said, they got Derrick Henry, and I don't suspect that they will let him go to waste and do away with the run game like they did last year. But just because it's never been done before doesn't mean it can't happen.
That's why
There is a first time for everything.
Sure, it can happen, but that's why I'm betting it doesn't, because history shows us it's not going to happen. Rebecca, who would you rather face? Would you rather face Buffalo or would you rather face Baltimore?
Either one, honestly, it doesn't matter because we can beat them both. We can beat them both. We can beat them both. I know they beat us during the regular. I know the Bills beat us during the regular season, but that's a given. That's a given. We can beat them when it counts. That's when people see who our team truly is in the postseason. You know that. Past 2 years, you've seen this. We come alive during the postseason, fellas. We just come alive. We start playing.
Hey, Rebecca, this is a different year, though. They won 15 games, so everybody is well aware of Chiefs and 2-time defending champs. So there's nothing that is out there where they can sneak up on anybody. Everybody is aware of who they are and how good they've been.
I know that, and and I'm getting tickled at the Cincinnati fans complaining, saying it's our fault they're not in the playoffs. Fellas, if you want in the playoffs, win your games that you're supposed to win, like we told Alabama fans with the college playoffs. If you want in, then win. That simple. Don't leave fate up to another team. Just don't do it. Just win the games you're supposed to win, and you won't have any problem. You'll be in it.
That's right.
And 49er John, where is your team? Oh, yeah, that's right. They're at home watching my team continue in the playoffs. I hope you enjoy it, brother.
Hey, and Rebecca, Chiefs have beaten them twice in Super Bowls, and he still can't say anything good about Chiefs. So that's why, once again, what he says is irrelevant. Nobody should respond to the irrelevance that he puts out there.
I laugh every time I hear him. I'm like, good Lord, man. It sounds so silly. But anyway, I just had to call after listening. It's never been done, but there's a first time for everything. There's a first time for everything.
Rebecca, have a good weekend. Enjoy the other games.
Y'all have a good one, too.
Thank you.
Okay, I will. Bye-bye.
At least our Chiefs won't quit this week. Right, they quit last week. 31-0.
There was that narrative that was put out there where there were people saying, "Oh, they don't want the Bengals in." Why would you let a team into playoffs anyway? Like, essentially, they did what was best for them, but essentially the game, the way it played out, the result, they let the Broncos in. So that's still another team that could be formidable if it comes to them playing each other, and that's the team that they would face first if Broncos happen to win their game. They play Chiefs next game.
Broncos will?
Yeah.
I thought they would play the...
It's always, the number one seed is always going to get the lowest remaining
seed. That's right. Because they'll change up.
Yeah.
It's not a given that the matchup between the Ravens, Bills, that game will play each other.
So they're always going to play a 5, 6, or 7 seed, whichever is the lowest
remaining seed. Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about that. Let me finish up here on the D3. Have we taken a break?
No, we need to take
need to take a break. All right. Sorry. Good calls. We'll take our last break. Finish it up when we come back. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
Legal problems? Hire Lion Legal. Don't mistake reasonableness for weakness. Lion Legal, tougher than a rhino's hide. For exceptional communication and exceptional results, hire Lion Legal to come roaring to the rescue.
Arkansas Municipal Equipment in Poen is the proud sponsor of Nolan Richardson in Drive Time Sports. Founded over 10 years ago by Daniel and Vanessa Ellison, Arkansas Municipal Equipment specializes in refuse and recycle equipment. They lease and sell trucks, trash carts, and roll-off dumpsters. But they don't just sell it to you. You can get parts and service for all makes and models of refuse equipment. Their technicians travel the state to take care of you. Arkansas Municipal Equipment, service after the sale.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
For a free insurance review, see Shelter agent Jeff Hodge or Jay Helm in Little Rock or Bo Beavis in Cabot.
Are you ready to take your classic car or vintage 4x4 to the next level? Look no further than Overland Auto Restoration in Cabot. Our team of restoration experts have decades of experience in preserving the beauty and heritage of classic vehicles for our clients all across the country. From modern mechanical upgrades that enhance performance to new upholstery and paint, Overland ensures every detail is handled with care and completed right on time. Call Overland Auto Restoration in Cabot at 501-246-4372 or visit overlandautoworks.com and let us get your classic ride back on the road, looking and driving better than ever.
Bet Saracen presents Pat Bradley every week when he checks in with Randy on Drive Time Sports. The Shooter on Drive Time Sports is brought to you by Bet Saracen, Arkansas's #1 mobile sports betting app. Download it today and win today.
Gathering Spaces is showing up and showing off. This is Pat Bradley for Whit Davis Luma Plus. You want paint that stands the test of time and color that stays true. Premium, high-hiding, and scrubbable Valspar Medallion paint goes on as easily as it cleans up to give your home's high-traffic areas the beautiful, lasting color they deserve. You can find Valspar paint at Whit Davis in Jacksonville, Sherwood, and Greenbrier. One coat coverage, maximum durability. Valspar paint.
Oaklawn Sports presents Oaklawn Game Day. It's an inside look at the week's big games, exciting prop bets, and the latest betting lines from Oaklawn Sportsbook. Justin Acree and Oaklawn's Director of Sports Wagering, Zach Gillum, have all the information you need to place your bets at Oaklawn. Catch it on The Buzz Wednesday night at 8, and again Thursday mornings at 5:30 before Morning Mayhem. Oaklawn Game Day, presented by Oaklawn Sports on 103.7 The Buzz.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio. Gwatney Chevrolet. Driving, trust every mile. Out of Bounds with Joe Franklin and Wes Moore on 103.7 The Buzz.
Wrapping it up on a Tuesday. I'm glad you're hanging out with us. Fun show today. Got some Broncos fans taking shots, Joe. This one from the 501 says Kansas City does not want the this is Chargers fan. Kansas City does not want the Chargers. I guarantee you beating that team 3 times in 1 year is probably not possible. Just my 2 cents, boys.
If they're the lowest remaining seed, it could happen.
And this one from the 501 says the Chiefs aren't going to have a chance at the Bills because the Broncos are going to beat the Bills.
Okay.
Where are we on that game on Bet Saracen? See, Chargers 3.5-point favorite over the Texans. Ravens Steelers gone up to 10.5. Broncos Bills, it was up to 9.5 yesterday. It's down to 8.5 on Bet Saracen today.
Oh, some people believing in Broncos.
Mm-hmm. Packers 5.5-point underdog to the Eagles.
Now, that game is really intriguing simply because a number of injuries for Packers, but then the whole Jalen Hurts narrative, and it's been a few weeks since he's played, so there's the thought that he may not play, which I personally don't think that's happening. I think he is playing, but the fact that he hadn't played in a couple of weeks, let's see how they look with him on the field.
What did I see? Oh, it was the Lions defensive back that left the game, did not break any bones. The DB.
Terrion Arnold.
Yep, Terrion Arnold did not break any bones. X-rays came back negative. He said he will play in the first round of the play, or the divisional round of the playoffs.
Well, he has a couple of weeks.
Yeah, he gets that off week. And the final game on Bet Saracen for NFL playoffs, Washington is a 3.5-point underdog on the road against Tampa Bay. That over-under's at 49.5. There you go. Oh, look at here. Double R prop bets are up already for the Arkansas Ole Miss game on Bet Saracen. Let me scroll down, see if there's some high dollar ones. Got plus 400 on Big Z, over 3.5 blocks, over 2.5 Come on, Randy, why you do that to Big Z? Don't be betting on him to have over 2.5 turnovers.
It's based on those averages.
Boogie Flynn and DJ Wagner under 3.5 turnovers and over 11.5 assists combined. That's plus 400. That's one of the higher dollar ones. Jonas Adu over 2.5 steals, over 2.5 blocks, plus 350. Arkansas Razorbacks over 38.5 points in the paint, and opponents under 26.5 points in the paint. That's plus 350. Okay, there's a couple of those. Go check it out on Bet Saracen, the Double R prop bets. Speaking of, Drive Time Sports be coming up in just a few minutes. We got tomorrow's Wednesday, game day. Hopefully get Pat Bradley on here, talk a little bit about Ole Miss, give us a scouting report on the Rebels and what Arkansas needs to do. That line, of course, is not out yet. I say that. Let me double check. Nope. What do you see?
Arkansas, Ole Miss, Arkansas 5.
Okay, I was going to say 3.
Yeah.
Somewhere low like that.
Home court advantage.
No doubt about it. And that was one of the things. We heard a couple of snippets from Chin Coleman today, but that was one of the things he talked about. Need a big home court advantage tomorrow night against Ole Miss. I think they'll get it, no doubt, against Florida on Saturday. Saturday games, they're no-brainers. I mean, it's packed and it's loud. They're doing a stripe out for the Saturday game. But with school not back, hopefully students are starting to return, and enough of them will be up there tomorrow night. But need a big-time home court advantage tomorrow night against Ole Miss. Help them bounce back, get 1-1 in the SEC.
Yeah, bottom line is team just needs to play better.
Yeah.
No matter what the crowd looks like.
No, and if you play well, the crowd will get loud no matter how many people are there. It'll create that atmosphere for you. All right, that's going to do it. Glad you listened to us. Fun day today. Tomorrow will be fun, too.
We're getting through this week.
Yep.
Seems fast-paced.
Then Thursday will be awesome, watching the snowfall and getting ready for the college football playoff. Stick around. Drive Time Sports is next.